The chamber is open and full of whispers.
The orphanage smells of carbolic soap and despair. Merope Gaunt lies on a thin mattress in a basement room. Blood soaks through the sheets beneath her. Her face is gray. Her breathing shallow. She has given up. The midwife, a muggle woman named Mrs. Talbot, wipes sweat from Merope's forehead with a rag that's more brown than white. "You need to push, dear. The baby's coming." Merope's eyes are unfocused, staring at nothing. "Let me die. Let us both die." Mrs. Talbot's hands shake. She's delivered 37 babies in this orphanage. 23 lived. This one won't be 24. The door opens. A younger woman enters, mid-30s, plain dress, practical boots. She carries a worn leather bag. Agnes Thornberry. Mrs. Talbot looks up. Relief floods her face. "Oh, thank God. Agnes, I can't." She won't push. She's given up. Agnes sets her bag on the floor, kneels beside the bed, studies Merope's face. She sees something Mrs. Talbot doesn't. The faint shimmer in Merope's eyes. The way her fingers twitch when Agnes's shadow falls across her. The magic trying to keep her alive even as she wills herself to die. Agnes is a squib, born to wizarding parents, no magic of her own. But she can see it in others. She leans close to Merope's ear. "I know what you are." Merope's eyes snap into focus. Fear replaces emptiness. "Don't. Please. Don't tell them." Agnes's voice drops to a whisper. "I'm not telling anyone, but you need to live. For the child, he abandoned me. There's nothing left." Agnes reaches into her bag. Her movements are quick, practiced. She pulls out a small vial filled with silver liquid. Merope's eyes widen. She recognizes it. "Where did you—" "Doesn't matter. Drink it. Now. That's illegal. They'll send you to—" "I don't care about Azkaban. Drink." Agnes uncorks the vial, presses it to Merope's lips. The liquid is thick, tastes of copper and starlight. Healing potion, brewed by Agnes's cousin who works in the basement of St. Mungo's, smuggled out in a hollowed-out book 3 months ago. Merope drinks. The effect is immediate. Color returns to her face. Her breathing steadies. The hemorrhaging slows. Mrs. Talbot stares. "What in heaven's name?" Agnes doesn't look at her. She's going to push now. "Get ready." Merope grips Agnes's hand. The magic in her blood responds to the potion. Surges. Demands life. She pushes. The baby comes fast after that. A boy. Small. Dark hair already visible. His cry is strong. Mrs. Talbot cuts the cord. Wraps him in a threadbare blanket. Hands him to Merope. Merope stares at her son. In another world, a world just one choice away, she would have died here. The boy would have grown up alone, unloved. He would have learned to hate, to fragment, to become something monstrous. But Agnes Thornberry made a different choice. Merope looks at the woman who saved her life. Why? Agnes's eyes are hard, practical, because I know what it's like to be thrown away. Magic or no magic. We're all human. She stands, wipes her hands on her apron. "You'll stay at my house. My husband and I run a shop in Whitechapel. It's not much, but it's warm. You'll work, earn your keep. But you and the boy will have a roof." Merope's throat closes. No one has shown her kindness since her father died, since Morphin went to Azkaban. Since Tom, Agnes picks up her bag. Raise him right, that's payment enough. 7 years later, 1933, the Thornbury home is 3 rooms above a cobbler's shop. Small, cramped, but clean. Tom Riddle, 7 years old, sits at a wooden table doing sums in a worn notebook. His handwriting is precise, each number perfectly formed. His mother watches from the kitchen doorway. She's healthier now, flesh on her bones, color in her cheeks. Agnes's husband Alfred got her a job mending clothes for the neighborhood. She's good at it. Tom finishes his work, looks up. "Mum, the snake in the garden spoke to me again." Merope's breath catches, but she doesn't flinch, doesn't scold. She sits beside him. What did it say? It asked why I smell different from other boys. I told it I didn't know. Merope takes his small hand in hers. "You're special, Tom. You have magic in your blood, like I do." Tom's eyes, dark and sharp, study her face. What's magic? She shows him, whispers a word. The pencil on the table lifts, hovers, spins slowly in the air. Tom watches. No fear, only fascination. "Can I do that? Someday, when you're older. You'll go to a school, Learn properly. What if I hurt someone by accident? Merope squeezes his hand. Then I'll teach you control. But Tom, listen to me. Magic isn't good or evil. It's a tool. What matters is how you use it, and why. Tom nods slowly. Agnes comes home that evening, sees mother and son at the table. Tom is making the pencil wobble without touching it. Merope guides him gently. Agnes sets down her shopping. He's getting stronger. Merope looks up. I'll write to Hogwarts when he turns 11. Explain the situation. They'll understand. And if they don't, then we find another way. But I won't let him grow up thinking he's a monster. Agnes nods, crosses to the stove, begins preparing dinner. Tom looks at both women. The squib who saved his life, the mother who refused to abandon him. He doesn't understand yet what a miracle this is. That in another world, a world where love didn't intervene, he would have become something unspeakable. But in this world, this small, cramped, warm world, he is loved. September 1st, 1938. Platform 9 3/4. Tom Riddle, 11 years old, stands beside his mother. He wears second-hand robes that Agnes altered to fit him. His trunk is battered but sturdy. Around them, the platform buzzes with pure-blood families. Expensive robes, gleaming trunks, children who've never known hunger. Tom watches them, no envy, only curiosity. A tall man approaches, silver beard, half-moon spectacles, eyes that see too much. Professor Albus Dumbledore. He stops in front of Merope. Mrs. Riddle, a pleasure to meet you in person. Merope stands straighter. She's practiced this, rehearsed what to say to the famous professor who came to their home 3 weeks ago. Professor, thank you for accepting Tom. Dumbledore's eyes shift to the boy. Your son is extraordinary, Mrs. Riddle. His magical signature is unlike anything I've encountered in 40 years of teaching. Tom meets his gaze without flinching. Is that good or bad, sir? Dumbledore's expression softens. That depends entirely on you, Mr. Riddle. He hands Tom a small package wrapped in brown paper. A gift. For the train journey, open it when you're settled. Tom takes it, feels the weight, the shape. Thank you, Dumbledore turns to leave. Pauses, looks back at Merope. Mrs. Riddle, may I ask you something? Of course. You chose to live. After Tom's birth, many in your situation would not have. Why? Merope's hand rests on her son's shoulder. Because someone showed me kindness when I had nothing. I wanted to give Tom the same chance. Dumbledore nods slowly. Then we owe that person a great debt. The world is better for your choice. He walks away, disappears into the crowd. Merope kneels, eye level with her son. Be good, Tom. Learn everything they'll teach you. But remember, power without compassion is cruelty. Tom hugs her. Brief. Tight. I'll remember. He boards the train. Finds an empty compartment. Opens Dumbledore's gift. Inside is a book. The History of Magic. Foundations and Philosophy by Bathilda Bagshot. Tom runs his fingers over the cover. Opens to the first page. There's an inscription in Dumbledore's elegant handwriting. To Tom Riddle, magic is not inherited. It is earned through study and tempered by character. I have great hopes for what you will become. A.D. Tom reads it twice, closes the book, looks out the window as the train begins to move, watches London fade behind him. He doesn't know yet what he'll become. The minister who will reshape Britain, the man who will build a golden age, the leader who will face darkness without becoming it. But the seed is planted. In this world, in this one moment, the timeline fractures, and everything changes. July 31st, 1980. Potter Manor. The estate sprawls across 30 acres of Wiltshire countryside. Ancient wards shimmer in the morning light. The manor itself is 3 stories of honey-colored stone. Ivy climbs the eastern wall. A fountain shaped like a rearing stag dominates the circular drive. Inside, 3rd floor, master bedroom. Lily Potter grips the bedpost. Her red hair sticks to her neck. James kneels beside her. His glasses are crooked. His hand is white from how hard she's squeezing it. You're doing brilliantly, love. Almost there. Lily's laugh is half a sob. You're lucky I love you, Potter. Otherwise I'd hex your bits off. Sirius Black stands in the corner. Tall, handsome, trying very hard not to faint. Prongs, maybe I should wait outside. James doesn't look away from Lily. You're the godfather, Padfoot. You stay. Remus Lupin sits in a chair by the window, calm, reading a book on healing charms. He glances up occasionally. offers quiet encouragement. Breathe, Lily, long breath out, that's it. The midwitch, Madame Pomfrey herself, moves with practiced efficiency. One more push, dear. I can see the head. Lily pushes. The sound that tears from her throat is primal, elemental. Then, a baby's cry, sharp, indignant, alive. Madame Pomfrey catches him. A boy, dark hair already visible, his eyes scrunched closed against the light. It's a boy, Lily, healthy, strong lungs. She cleans him quickly, wraps him in a blanket embroidered with the Potter crest, places him in Lily's arms. Lily stares at her son. James leans in. His hand trembles as he touches the baby's tiny fist. Hello, Harry. We've been waiting for you. The baby's fingers curl around James's thumb. His crying stops. He blinks up at his parents with eyes that haven't settled on a color yet. Sirius approaches slowly, peers over Lily's shoulder. He's perfect. Look at that hair. Already a Potter. Lily smiles, exhausted, radiant. He has my eyes. James kisses her forehead. Best of both, then. Remus closes his book, joins them. What's his full name? James straightens. This part they've practiced. Harry James Potter, heir to the ancient and noble house of Potter. Sirius grins. And I, Sirius Orion Blackhair, to the ancient and noble house of Black, do solemnly swear that I am up to godfather duties. He pauses. Is there an actual oath for this? Or did I just make that up? Lily laughs. The sound fills the room. Remus produces a flask from his robes. To Harry Potter, may his life be boring, peaceful, and absolutely devoid of dark wizards trying to kill him. They drink. Even Lily takes a small sip. Madame Pomfrey clucks her tongue but doesn't stop them. Outside the window, the sun climbs higher. The wards around Potter Manor pulse once, recognizing the new life within their boundaries, accepting him, protecting him. 4 years later, August 1984, the Granger dental practice, North London. Lily steps through the door. Her aurora robes are tucked away. She wears a simple blue dress, professional, unthreatening. The receptionist looks up. Can I help you? Lily's smile is warm. I'm here about the incident. The ministry sent me. The receptionist's face goes pale. Oh, right. They're in the back office. I'll get them. Lily follows her through the clinic. The smell of antiseptic, the hum of fluorescent lights, the faint whine of a drill from one of the treatment rooms. They reach an office, door closed, voices murmuring inside. The receptionist knocks. Mrs. Granger? The ministry representative is here. The door opens. Helen Granger, early 30s, sensible blouse, worried eyes. Behind her stands Daniel Granger, tall, graying temples, protective hand on his wife's shoulder. And in the corner, sitting in a plastic chair with her feet not quite touching the floor, Hermione Granger, 5 years old, wild brown hair, 2 serious eyes. Her hands are folded in her lap. She's trying very hard to be still. Lily sees the magic immediately. It clings to the girl like static electricity, sparks when she shifts position. The air around her shimmers faintly. Mrs. Granger steps forward. Please, we don't understand what happened. Hermione she was organizing the supply closet and everything started floating and we couldn't. Lily holds up a hand. Gentle. It's all right. May I speak with Hermione alone? Daniel Granger's jaw tightens. We're her parents. We have a right, of course, but magical children sometimes respond better to magical adults in moments of stress. I promise I only want to help. Helen and Daniel exchange looks. Helen nods. 5 minutes. They leave. Close the door behind them. Lily pulls up a chair, sits across from Hermione. Eye level. Hello, Hermione. I'm Lily. Hermione's voice is small. Are you going to take me away? No. I'm going to help you understand what you can do. Hermione's fingers twist together. I didn't mean to make things float. I was just thinking about how the cotton swabs should be in alphabetical order, and then they were moving, and I got scared, and they all fell, and... You're not broken. You're magic. Hermione blinks. Like in books, better. Real magic. Watch. Lily whispers a word, her wand, tucked in her sleeve, flicks. Once, the pen on the desk lifts, spins, draws a perfect circle in the air before settling back down. Hermione's eyes go wide. How did you do that? Practice. And you can learn too. There's a school, Hogwarts. When you turn 11, you'll get a letter. That's 6 years away. Lily leans forward. which is why I want to start teaching you now, with your parents' permission, every weekend. You'll come to my home, learn control, learn theory. By the time you get to Hogwarts, you'll be ahead of everyone. Hermione's posture changes, straightens, the fear in her eyes becomes something else. Curiosity. Will there be books? Lily smiles. Thousands. Can I bring my parents? For visits? But the lessons are just for you. Why? Lily chooses her words carefully. Because you're special, Hermione. I can feel it. Your magic is as strong as my son's. And he's the heir to one of the oldest families in Britain. You have a gift. I don't want it wasted. What's your son's name? Harry? He's 4. Same age as you. Hermione considers this. Will I meet him? Every weekend. Hermione nods slowly. Okay. September 1984. Potter Manor. 4-year-old Harry Potter runs through the gardens. His dark hair is a mess. His glasses are slightly crooked. He's chasing a garden gnome with a toy wand. Behind him, Sirius lounges on a stone bench, watching with amusement. Harry wheels around, points the toy wand at Sirius. Stupefy, nothing happens. Sirius clutches his chest dramatically. Oh no. I'm stunned, defeated. However shall I recover? He falls backward off the bench. Harry giggles, runs over. Uncle Padfoot, you're supposed to fall asleep, not fall off the bench. Sirius sits up, ruffles Harry's hair. Right, next time I'll do it properly. A crack of apparition. Lily appears at the garden gate. She's holding a small hand. Hermione steps out from behind her, eyes enormous, taking in the manor. The grounds, the wards she can almost see shimmering in the air. Harry stops running, stares. Lily guides Hermione forward. Harry, this is Hermione. She's going to be learning magic with us. Harry approaches slowly, studies the girl in front of him. She's small, skinny. Her hair is even messier than his. Her dress has a grass stain on the hem. Do you like chocolate frogs? Hermione blinks. I don't know what those are. Harry's face lights up. Come on, I'll show you. He grabs her hand, pulls her toward the manor. Hermione looks back at Lily, uncertain. Lily nods. Go ahead. I'll be right here. Harry leads Hermione through the manor, chattering the entire way, showing her the portraits that wave, the suits of armor that bow, the library that spans 2 floors. Hermione's fear melts away, replaced by wonder. You have all these books. My mum's a researcher. She says we can never have too many. Hermione reaches out, touches the spine of a leather-bound tome. Can I read them? Harry shrugs. Sure, I don't read much yet. Mum says I should focus on flying first. You can fly? Not by myself, but Dad's teaching me on a broom. Want to see? Hermione's practical nature wars with her curiosity. Curiosity wins. Okay. They run outside. Harry drags her to the broom shed, shows her the collection, child-sized training brooms, one ancient clean sweep that belonged to James's grandfather. Hermione touches one gently. It's beautiful. Harry grins. You want to try? Hermione looks at the broom, then at the sky, then at Harry's eager face. She takes a breath. Yes. 1 year later, summer 1985, the gardens at Potter Manor. Early evening. 5-year-old Harry and Hermione sit on the grass. Between them is a marble. They've been trying to make it move without touching it for an hour. Lily watches from the terrace. James stands beside her, his arm around her waist. They're incredible together. James nods. He barely slept last night. Kept asking when Hermione would visit. She's good for him. Keeps him grounded. As they watch, Hermione's hand moves. Not touching the marble, just hovering above it. The marble rolls. Harry whoops. Hermione's face splits into a grin. I did it. Harry grabs her hands. They spin in a circle, laughing. Lily leans into James. I think we just witnessed something important. James kisses her temple. The beginning of a legend? Lily smiles. Something like that. On the grass, Harry and Hermione collapse, breathing hard, staring up at the clouds. Hermione's voice is thoughtful. Harry? Yeah. When we go to Hogwarts, can we be in the same house? Harry turns his head, looks at her. I don't know how it works, but I'll try. Hermione reaches out. Their hands find each other in the grass. Good. Because I don't want to do this without you. Harry squeezes her hand. Me neither. Above them, the wards pulse, recognizing the bond forming, the connection that will reshape their world. The sun sets, painting the sky gold and crimson, And in that light, two children lie side by side, not knowing yet what they'll become, only knowing they won't face it alone. September 1st, 1990. Minister's office. 10-year-old Harry Potter sits in a leather chair that's too large for him. His feet don't touch the floor. His glasses slide down his nose. He pushes them up with one finger. Beside him, Hermione Granger, also 10. Her hair is pulled back with a ribbon that's already coming loose. Her hands are folded in her lap. Perfect posture. Across the desk. Tom Riddle, 64 years old. Silver at his temples. Lines at the corners of his eyes that speak of laughter more than age. His robes are deep blue with silver threading. The minister's seal gleams on his chest. He's reading their latest essay. Theoretical applications of ley line magic in modern ward construction. 12 pages. Written in joint authorship. Every citation perfect. Riddle sets it down, looks at them over steepled fingers. Tell me, who wrote the introduction? Hermione. Harry's voice is steady. And the conclusion? I did. The middle sections? Hermione answers. We alternated paragraphs. It was easier than trying to merge our writing styles. Riddle's lips quirk. You're both 10 years old. Most wizards your age are still learning to levitate feathers. You're theorizing about magical infrastructure that wouldn't be taught until 7th year. If at all, Harry and Hermione exchange glances. Harry speaks first. Is that a problem, sir? Riddle stands, walks to the window, looks out over the atrium below. Witches and wizards moving like ants through the grand space. No, it's an opportunity. He turns back. How would you like to learn what no child has learned in 1,000 years? The door appears when Riddle speaks the password in Parseltongue. A low hiss, layered with intent. The stone wall of the Department of Mysteries shifts, grinds, opens. Beyond is a staircase, spiraling down. The air that flows up smells of parchment and age and something else. Something that makes the magic in Harry's blood sing. Hermione's eyes are wide. Where does it go? Riddle gestures. See for yourself. They descend. The stairs are carved from black stone. Runes glow faintly along the walls. Harry recognizes some from his mother's lessons. Others are foreign, ancient. At the bottom, a chamber. No, not a chamber. A library. The ceiling vanishes into darkness 30 feet above. Shelves stretch in every direction, books bound in leather and dragon hide and materials Harry can't identify. Scrolls stacked in brass holders. Glass cases containing artifacts that hum with contained power. Hermione makes a sound something between a gasp and a whimper. This is. I discovered it in 1972, hidden beneath the Department of Mysteries. Sealed by Merlin himself according to the ward structure. Harry steps forward, touches the spine of the nearest book. Elemental Sorcery, A Founder's Perspective by Godric Gryffindor. These are originals, first editions, research journals, spellcrafting notes, everything the founders and their contemporaries deemed too dangerous or too complex for general circulation. Hermione's hand hovers over a scroll case. Why show us? Riddle walks deeper into the library. His footsteps are soft on the stone floor. Because you're ready. Because the world needs wizards who can think beyond wand movements and incantations. Because I'm building something, and you two are the foundation. He stops. Turns. For the next year. Before you start Hogwarts, you'll study here. Every weekend Lily has agreed to bring you. I'll provide the curriculum. What will we learn? Harry's voice is steady despite the excitement thrumming through him. Riddle gestures to the shelves. Ancient runes from Bill Weasley. He's the best curse breaker in Britain. Alchemy from Nicholas Flamel. Yes, the Nicholas Flamel. I convinced him to postpone his retirement. Battle magic from Alastor Moody. Retired but still the most dangerous duelist alive. And Legilimency? From you, sir? Hermione's question is careful. From me, because mental defense is as important as shield charms. He crosses his arms, but first, a test. The training vault. Sublevel of the Department of Mysteries. Harry and Hermione stand before a door. Seamless steel. No handle. No keyhole covered in runes that shift when you look directly at them. Riddle stands 20 paces back, arms crossed. This vault contains ministry secrets, prophecies, classified research. It's protected by wards that have defeated every unspeakable who tried to breach it as a training exercise. What's the test? Harry studies the door. Get inside. You have 72 hours. That's all? That's everything. Riddle turns, walks away. His footsteps fade up the stairs. Hermione pulls out a notebook, begins sketching the rune patterns. Harry closes his eyes, reaches out with his magic, feeling the wards like spider silk against his skin. Hour 12, they've identified the base ward structure. 7 layers, each tied to a different branch of magic. Hermione reads from a borrowed text on ancient ward theory. The outer layer is elemental, responds to direct magical assault by absorbing and redirecting the energy. So we can't blast through. Harry sits cross-legged on the floor, thinking, what if we don't fight it? What if we feed it exactly what it wants? Hermione's pen stops. Controlled energy dispersal. We'd need perfect synchronization. We've been practicing for 5 years. Not like this, not with ministry-level wards. Harry opens his eyes, looks at her. Trust me? Always. Hour 48. They're past the elemental layer. The second layer is runic, a mathematical lock that requires solving the equation in real time as the variables shift. Her handwriting covers 6 pages of calculations. Harry feeds her the changing values as he reads them from the ward's oscillations. Carry the 3, no wait, it shifted. I see it. Adjusted. They move like a machine, 2 parts of one whole. The runic layer clicks, dissolves. Hour 68. 5 layers breached. 2 remain. The 6th is blood magic. Requires the touch of someone with authority over the department. Hermione slumps against the wall. We can't get past this. We'd need an unspeakable's blood or the minister's authorization. Harry stares at the door. What if we rewrite it? You can't rewrite blood wards. They're absolute. Not if you understand the underlying structure. He pulls out his wand, begins carving runes into the air. They hang there, glowing. Hermione watches, her eyes widen. You're not rewriting the ward, you're rewriting the definition of authority. The blood magic requires someone who has right of access. But right of access is just a concept, a magical contract, and contracts can be amended if you know the language they're written in. Hermione grabs her wand, adds her own runes. Weaving them with Harry's, together they craft something new. A loophole, a magical argument that says, if 2 wizards can synchronize their magic perfectly enough to speak as one voice, that voice has authority equivalent to the original caster. The blood ward flickers, accepts the logic, dissolves. Hour 72. The final layer is legilimency-based, reads the intent of anyone trying to breach it, triggers an alarm if malicious intent is detected. Harry and Hermione stand before it. Hermione's voice is quiet. Then we don't lie. They press their palms to the door, open their minds. The ward reads them, sees their intent. 2 children, seeking knowledge, not to steal, not to harm, but to learn, to prove themselves worthy. The ward was created to protect secrets from those who would misuse them. Harry and Hermione have no intent to misuse, only to understand. The ward measures this, finds it true. The door opens. Inside the vault, shelves of prophecy orbs, glowing softly, each one a glimpse of possible futures. Filing cabinets containing research deemed too dangerous for publication. A pedestal in the center, empty except for a single piece of parchment. Harry picks it up. It's a note, in Riddle's elegant handwriting. Well done. You are the first non-unspeakables to ever breach this vault. The Ministry's finest needed teams of 6 and weeks of preparation. You did it in 3 days with just the 2 of you. This is why I'm investing in your education. This is why Britain's future depends on you. Welcome to the Library of Avalon. Your real education begins now. TMR. Hermione reads over his shoulder. He knew we'd succeed. He gave us 72 hours because he knew that's how long we'd need. Harry folds the note, slides it into his pocket. The vault door is still open. Alarms should be screaming. Unspeakable should be swarming them. Instead, silence. A figure appears in the doorway. Tom Riddle, not surprised, almost proud. 71 hours and 43 minutes, faster than I expected. You were watching. Hermione's tone is flat. The entire time? These are ministry vaults. Did you think they weren't monitored? You let us think we were unsupervised. I wanted to see how you'd handle pressure, whether you'd cheat, whether you'd give up. Harry meets his eyes. We don't give up. Riddle's smile is sharp. No, you don't. He produces 2 small boxes from his robes, hands one to each of them. Open them. Harry opens his first. Inside, nestled in velvet, a wand, not his current wand, something else. Longer, darker wood. The handle is wrapped in silver wire, holly and phoenix feather, 13 inches. unyielding Gregorovich's work. Nearly as powerful as the Elder Wand itself. I commissioned it specifically for you. Hermione opens hers. Vine wood, dragon heartstring. 12 inches, the wood seems to shimmer in the light. These aren't ordinary wands. Riddle's voice is quiet. They're partners, made to complement each other. When you cast together, the resonance will be unprecedented. Harry lifts his wand. The magic that floods through him is different, stronger, more responsive. Hermione raises hers. A wordless lumos. The light that erupts is brilliant, pure. Riddle watches them. You're ready for Hogwarts. More than ready. He turns, pauses at the door. But remember, power without principle is tyranny. Principle without power is helpless. You must be both. Harry and Hermione stand in the vault, wands in hand. The future stretches before them. And for the first time, they understand the weight of what they're being asked to carry. September 1st, 1991. Platform 9 3/4. The platform is chaos. Families everywhere. Owls hooting, cats yowling. A toad escapes from a first year's pocket and causes a minor stampede. Harry and Hermione arrive through the barrier together. They're both 11 now. Taller, more self-possessed than the children who first met 7 years ago. Harry wears robes of deep blue with gold trim. The Potter family crest is embroidered over his heart. His new wand is holstered at his hip like a duelist's blade. Hermione's robes are midnight blue, silver threading at the cuffs and collar. Her hair is tamed into a braid. Her wand rests in a forearm holster that Lily helped her design. They don't look like first years. They look like royalty. The platform goes quiet in a spreading wave as people notice them, recognize them. That's them, the prodigies, Potter's son and the Muggle-born girl. I heard they've been training with the minister himself, studied under Flamel. Can you imagine? Harry ignores the whispers. Hermione's chin lifts slightly. Not arrogance, just awareness of who they are. James and Lily follow through the barrier. Lily's arm is linked with James's, both trying not to cry. James pulls Harry aside. Remember, Hogwarts is different from the manor. You'll have professors who don't know what you can do. Classmates who'll resent you. Keep your head down. Harry's smile is small. You want me to hide? I want you to be smart. There's a difference. Lily hugs Hermione. You have everything? Your books? Your notes? Hermione pats her enchanted bag, holds twice its volume, everything. Plus the reading list you made for first term. Lily laughs. That was optional, you know. Hermione's expression is serious. Knowledge is never optional. Sirius appears, scoops Harry into a hug that lifts him off his feet. My God, son. Off to Hogwarts, I'm not crying, you're crying. Uncle Padfoot, I can't breathe. Sirius sets him down, ruffles his hair. Make me proud, Prongslet. But not too proud. I have a reputation to maintain as the family disappointment. Remus shakes Hermione's hand. Formal, Miss Granger. Remember what we discussed about lunar-influenced magic? She nods. Track the phases. Adjust spell power accordingly. And never attempt transformation magic during a full moon. Good. You listened better than these two ever did. The Hogwarts Express whistles. Harry and Hermione board together. Find an empty compartment near the back. Settle in. Through the window, their families wave. The train begins to move. The compartment door slides open 20 minutes later. A red-haired boy sticks his head in, tall, gangly, freckled. Ron Weasley, mind if I sit? Everywhere else is full, Harry gestures, please. Ron drops into the seat across from them. Stares. You're them, aren't you? The ones everyone's talking about. Hermione closes her book. That depends on what they're saying. That you can do wandless magic. That you breached the Department of Mysteries. That the minister personally trained you. Ron's eyes are wide but not hostile, just curious. My brother Bill said you helped him practice curse-breaking last summer. Said you're brilliant. Harry relaxes slightly. Bill's a good teacher. We learned more from him than he probably learned from us. Ron grins. Doubt that? Bill doesn't shut up about you two. They talk. Ron is funny, self-deprecating. He treats them like normal people instead of celebrities. Harry finds himself laughing at a story about Ron's twin brothers turning their brother Percy's head boy badge into a spider. The door opens again. 3 boys this time. The one in front has pale blonde hair, pointed features, expensive robes, Draco Malfoy. Behind him, Vincent Crabbe and Gregory Goyle. Large, stupid-looking, Muscle. Draco's eyes sweep the compartment, land on Harry. So it's true. Potter and the mudblood are on the train. The word lands like a slap. Ron starts to stand. Harry holds up a hand. Gentle. Malfoy steps inside without invitation. My father told me you'd be here. He says you're Minister Riddle's pet project, that the minister's trying to prove blood doesn't matter by propping up half-bloods and mudbloods. Hermione sets down her book. Her voice is cold. Your father serves Minister Riddle. We study under him. There's a hierarchy in that relationship. I'll let you work out where you fall. Draco's face flushes. You think you're so special. My father's on the Hogwarts Board of Governors. One word from him and what? Harry's tone is conversational. Your father will remove the minister's personally selected students? Please, send him an owl. I'm sure that conversation will go well for House Malfoy. Draco's hand twitches toward his wand. Goyle and Crabbe shift, ready to back their master. Hermione stands, doesn't draw her wand, doesn't need to. Her magic ripples out. Visible, a distortion in the air like heat shimmer. The temperature in the compartment drops 5 degrees. Draco takes a step back. His bravado cracks. Hermione's voice is soft, dangerous. I am a muggle born. My magic woke at 5 years old. I've studied under Nicholas Flamel, Alastor Moody, the Minister of Magic himself. I can cast spells you won't learn until 7th year if you manage to scrape through your NEWTs. She takes one step forward. You want to insult my heritage? Fine. But understand this. The only reason I'm muggle-born is because I wasn't born into your precious pure-blood families. And we both know, if I had been, you'd be begging for my attention instead of trying to belittle me. Draco's face is white. Harry stands, places himself beside Hermione. Ron's still seated, but his wand is in his hand now. Draco looks at the three of them, realizes he's outnumbered and outclassed. He tries to save face. This isn't over. Harry's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Yes, it is. You just haven't accepted it yet. Draco turns, storms out. Crabbe and Goyle follow. Ron whistles low. Bloody hell, that was incredible. Hermione sits back down, picks up her book. Her hands are steady. He'll tell his father. Harry shrugs. Let him. The boats cross the Black Lake. Harry and Hermione share one with Ron and a boy named Neville Longbottom. Quiet, nervous, keeps checking his pockets for his toad. As they glide across the water, Harry feels something. Energy. Ancient, powerful, thrumming up through the water into his bones. Hermione's hand touches the side of the boat. Can you feel it? Harry nods. The whole lake sits on top of one. Ron and Neville exchange confused looks. You can sense ley lines. Ron's voice is awed. Hermione's expression is thoughtful. Hogwarts was built on a nexus point. The founders knew. That's why the magic here is so strong. Neville speaks for the first time. My gran said Hogwarts would feel different from anywhere else. I didn't understand what she meant until now. The castle comes into view, towers silhouetted against the stars, every window glowing. It's beautiful. Harry doesn't respond. He's reaching out with his magic, feeling the wards. Layer upon layer, centuries of power woven together. This is home. The Great Hall, 4 long tables, thousands of candles floating, the ceiling showing the night sky. Harry and Hermione enter with the other first years. Every head turns. At the staff table, professors sit in formal robes. Albus Dumbledore, headmaster, silver beard, half-moon spectacles. His eyes are on Harry and Hermione. Beside him, Tom Riddle, dressed in minister's robes, present as an honored guest, unprecedented. Minerva McGonagall, deputy headmistress, stern, evaluating. Severus Snape, potions master, greasy hair, cold eyes. His gaze flickers over Harry with something that might be curiosity. Phileas Flitwick, charms, short, standing on a stack of books. Pomona Sprout, herbology, kind face, and others. McGonagall places the sorting hat on a stool. The hat sings, a different song than in other years, about unity, about the future, about the need for both tradition and change. When it finishes, McGonagall unfurls her scroll. When I call your name, you will put on the hat and be sorted into your house. She calls names. Students sorted quickly, scattered applause. Then, Granger Hermione. The hall goes quiet. Hermione walks forward, head high. She sits on the stool. McGonagall places the hat on her head. Silence. The hat speaks in Hermione's mind. Its voice is old, amused. Well, what do we have here? A student, waiting to be sorted. You're far more than a student, child. I've sorted 10,000 witches and wizards. I've never felt a mind like yours. The hat pauses. You could lead Ravenclaw to glory. That brilliant analytical mind. That thirst for knowledge. I want to learn. But learning isn't enough. No, you want to apply what you learn. You want to change things. Interesting. The hat is quiet for a full minute. The hall fidgets. Then, the hat speaks aloud, its voice amplified, the first time in Hogwarts history. A mind so complete it transcends singular house virtues. Founder's heir, Ravenclaw. No one's heard that designation in 1,000 years. Hermione stands. Walks to the Ravenclaw table. They make space for her. Stunned. McGonagall's hand shakes slightly as she calls the next name. Potter Harry. Harry walks forward. Sits. The hat descends. Ah, the other one, of course. Hello. You are Gryffindor's courage, Slytherin's ambition, Ravenclaw's wit, Hufflepuff's loyalty. You carry all four. The hat sounds almost reverent. In another world, you would have been marked as Voldemort's equal. In this one, you are marked as the minister's legacy. I'm just Harry. No child, you're the future made flesh. The hat doesn't deliberate. Founder's heir, Gryffindor. The Gryffindor table explodes. Cheering, screaming. Students standing on benches. Harry walks to his table. Ron's there. Grinning. Bloody brilliant, mate. Founder's heir. Do you know how rare that is? Harry sits. Looks across the hall to the Ravenclaw table. Hermione meets his eyes. They smile. At the staff table, Dumbledore leans toward Riddle. Tom, you've created something extraordinary. But what happens when they realize they're more powerful than their teachers? Riddle's voice is quiet. Then we ensure they're wiser than we are. That's the entire point, Albus. Dumbledore's expression is troubled. And if wisdom fails, then we pray we raise them with compassion. Riddle stands, addresses the hall. The headmaster has granted me a moment to speak. The room quiets. These two represent the future I have worked 20 years to build. They will show you what magic can be when fear is replaced by knowledge, when prejudice is replaced by merit. Watch them, learn from them, and perhaps surpass them. He sits. The hall erupts in applause. Harry and Hermione sit at their separate tables, divided by houses, united by something deeper. The Sorting Hat, before being put away, whispers to McGonagall, "Headmaster, I have sorted 10,000 students. Those two are not students. They are the future. Guard them well, or step aside and let them guard us." McGonagall's hand trembles as she carries the hat away. September 1st, 1991. Gryffindor Common Room. Night. The first years file in, exhausted, overwhelmed. The prefect shows them to their dormitories. Harry climbs the spiral stairs to the boys' dorm. Ron follows, then Neville. Two other boys Harry hasn't properly met yet. The room has 5 four-poster beds, red and gold hangings, windows overlooking the grounds. Ron claims the bed next to Harry's. Founder's heir. Still can't believe it. What does that even mean? Neville unpacks carefully. Organizing his trunk, my gran said it hasn't happened since the founders themselves, that the hat only uses that designation for wizards who embody all 4 houses completely. Harry sits on his bed, tests the mattress. It just means the hat couldn't decide where to put us. That's all. Ron snorts. That's not what everyone else thinks. Did you see Malfoy's face? Thought he was going to explode. One of the other boys speaks up. Seamus Finnegan, Irish accent. Freckled. Is it true you studied under Nicholas Flamel? Harry meets his eyes. For a year. Alchemy basics. Seamus whistles. Mental. Absolutely mental. The last boy, Dean Thomas. Quiet. Observant. What about the Department of Mysteries thing? Did you really breach the vaults? Ron leans forward, eager. Yeah, Bill told me about that. Said you two did in 3 days what takes unspeakables weeks. Harry pulls off his robes, hangs them carefully. We had good instruction, that's all. Ron shakes his head. That's not all. You're being modest. I'm being accurate. Neville finishes unpacking. Sits on his bed. Do you think Hermione's all right? In Ravenclaw? Harry glances at the window. Across the castle. Different tower. She's fine. Better than fine. How do you know? Because she's Hermione. Ravenclaw common room. Same night. Hermione sits in an armchair by the fire, a book open in her lap. Hogwarts, a history. Around her, Ravenclaw first years whisper. A girl approaches, dark skin, confident stride. Padma Paddle, is it true that you can do wandless magic? Hermione looks up. Yes. Prove it. The room goes quiet. Everyone watching, Hermione sets down her book. Stands. She raises her hand, palm up. Doesn't speak, doesn't move her fingers. The candles in the room dim, then brighten, then dim again, in perfect rhythm. A boy gasps. That's not possible. You need a wand to channel. Hermione's voice is patient. A wand helps channel magic. It's not required, it's a tool. Like parchment is a tool for writing, you can write without parchment. It's just harder. She sits back down, picks up her book. Padma stares. Where did you learn that? From the best teachers in Britain. A boy in the corner speaks. Terry Boot, skeptical. The minister trained you himself? Among others? Why? Hermione meets his eyes. Because he believes magical education shouldn't be limited by age or convention. Because he saw potential and chose to cultivate it. Terry crosses his arms. Or because it looks good politically to have a Muggle-born prodigy. Hermione's expression doesn't change. Believe what you want. I'm here to learn, not to prove anything to you. She returns to her book. The Ravenclaws exchange glances. Unsure how to respond, Padma sits in the chair across from Hermione. What's he like? The minister? Hermione considers the question. Brilliant. Demanding. He expects excellence and won't accept excuses. But he's fair. He judges you on merit, not blood, not connections. Padma nods slowly. My parents worship him. They say he's the greatest thing to happen to magical Britain in centuries. Hermione's smile is small. He'd tell them they're being dramatic. But he wouldn't entirely disagree. September 2nd, 1991. First day of classes. Transfiguration, Professor McGonagall stands at the front of the classroom. Stern. Precise, the first years file in. Gryffindors and Ravenclaws together. Harry sits beside Ron. Hermione sits with Padma 2 rows ahead. McGonagall transforms her desk into a pig. Then back again. The class murmurs. Impressed. Transfiguration is some of the most complex and dangerous magic you will learn at Hogwarts. Anyone messing around in my class will leave and not come back. She hands out matches. You will turn a match into a needle, demonstrate the wand movement, speak the incantation clearly. The class begins. Students struggle, matches smoke, turn slightly silver, stay stubbornly match-shaped. McGonagall walks between the desks, correcting grips, adjusting pronunciations. She reaches Hermione's desk. Miss Granger, let's see your... She stops. Hermione's match is a needle. Perfect, sharp, gleaming. When did you complete the transformation? Hermione looks up. About 30 seconds after you explained it, Professor. McGonagall picks up the needle, examines it. This is NEWT level precision. First try? Hermione nods. I've been practicing transfiguration theory for 6 years. This was the first time applying it practically. McGonagall sets down the needle. 5 points to Ravenclaw for exceptional work. She moves to Harry's desk. His match is also a needle, but different. The point is sharper. The eye is smaller. The proportions are exact to a surgical instrument. McGonagall says nothing for a long moment. Mr. Potter, have you been practicing as well? Harry meets her eyes. Yes, Professor. My mother taught me the basics. Minister Riddle helped with the advanced applications. Of course he did. Her tone is dry but not unkind. 5 points to Gryffindor. She addresses the class. Note that Mr. Potter and Miss Granger have both achieved the lesson objective. The rest of you will continue practicing. No one leaves until I see at least partial transformation from everyone. Ron stares at his match, which hasn't changed at all. Bloody hell, Harry. How am I supposed to compete with that? You're not competing, you're learning. Easy for you to say. Harry leans over, adjusts Ron's wand grip. Loosen your wrist. You're too tense, the magic can't flow properly. Ron tries again. The match turns silver at one end, his face lights up. I did it, Harry grins. Told you. Potions. Same day. Dungeons. Professor Snape sweeps into the room. Robes billowing. His presence fills the space. He faces the class. Eyes cold. I can teach you to bottle fame, brew glory, even stopper death. His gaze sweeps the room. Stops on Harry. Ah yes, Harry Potter, our new celebrity. Several Slytherins snicker. Harry's expression doesn't change. Snape's lips curl. Tell me, Potter, what would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood? The room is silent. First years aren't expected to know this. Harry's voice is steady, the draught of living death professor, one of the most powerful sleeping potions in existence. Snape's eyes narrow. And what is the difference between monkshood and wolfsbane? They're the same plant, Professor, also known as aconite. Where would you look if I asked you to find me a bezoar? The stomach of a goat. It's an antidote to most poisons. Snape's jaw tightens. 3 correct answers. How convenient that the minister's prize student knows basic potion ingredients. Harry doesn't rise to the bait. Nicholas Flamel taught me that potion making is chemistry with intent. Understanding ingredients is fundamental. Flamel Snape's tone could cut glass. I suppose dropping that name is meant to impress me? It's meant to answer your question, sir. Snape stares at him. The silence stretches. Finally, 2 points from Gryffindor for cheek. He turns to the board, waves his wand. Instructions appear. You will brew a simple cure for boils. The instructions are on the board. Begin. The class scrambles for ingredients. Harry works methodically, crushing snake fangs, measuring precisely. His movements are practiced. Hermione at the Ravenclaw station does the same. Her potion is already the correct shade of pink. Snape stalks between the cauldrons, critiquing, sneering. He stops at Neville's station. The potion is bubbling ominously. Acid green instead of pink. What is this, Longbottom? Neville stammers. I think I added the porcupine quills too early. You think? Thinking is clearly beyond your capabilities. He waves his wand, vanishes the potion. Start again, and this time follow the instructions. Neville's hands shake as he reaches for fresh ingredients. Snape moves on, stops at Harry's cauldron. The potion is perfect. Soft pink, gentle steam. Exactly as described. Snape stares at it, looking for flaws. Finds none. Acceptable. He moves to Hermione's station. Her potion is identical to Harry's. Perfect. Miss Granger, did you copy Mr. Potter's work? Hermione's voice is ice. No, Professor. We were taught by the same instructor. Our techniques are similar. How convenient. Hermione sets down her stirring rod, faces him directly. Professor, if you have concerns about my academic integrity, I'm happy to brew any potion you name. Right now. Without reference materials, the class goes silent. Snape's expression is unreadable. That won't be necessary. Though your arrogance is noted, it's not arrogance, sir. It's confidence. There's a difference, Ron whispers to Harry. Is she trying to get detention on the first day? Harry doesn't respond. He's watching Snape. The potions master studies Hermione. Something shifts in his expression. 5 points from Ravenclaw for impertinence, but his tone has changed. Less hostile, almost considering. He returns to his desk. Class dismissed. Leave a sample of your potion on my desk as you exit. The students file out. Ron grabs Harry's arm in the corridor. That was intense. Does Snape hate everyone or just us? Hermione joins them, unbothered. He's testing us, seeing if we break under pressure. Harry nods, which means we don't give him the satisfaction. Ron shakes his head. You two are mental. Brilliant, but mental. That evening, headmaster's office. Dumbledore sits behind his desk. Fawkes preens on his perch. Snape stands before him, arms crossed. Well, Severus, your assessment? Snape's voice is controlled. They're everything Riddle claimed. Potter has his mother's intelligence and his father's instincts. The Granger girl is possibly more dangerous. Dangerous? She doesn't fear authority. She challenges it, politely, but definitively. Dumbledore's eyes twinkle. That sounds familiar. You were much the same at her age. Snape's jaw tightens. I was a half-blood trying to prove myself. She's a muggle-born who's already succeeded. And that bothers you? Snape turns to the window. It concerns me. She and Potter are synchronized. They move like 2 parts of one entity. That level of magical compatibility is rare. Dumbledore leans back. Tom has created something extraordinary. But you're worried. I'm worried what happens when they realize they're more powerful than most of the staff. Dumbledore's expression grows serious. As am I, Severus. As am I. Gryffindor common room. Late night. Harry sits by the fire, alone. The other first years have gone to bed. A soft knock on the portrait hole. The fat lady opens it. Hermione steps through. Still in her Ravenclaw robes, Harry stands. How did you... Your dorm password is Caput Draconis. Ron talks in his sleep. Harry laughs quietly. They sit together on the couch. First day. Hermione's voice is soft. First day. What did you think? Harry considers. Easier than I expected. The classes are years behind what we've already learned. Hermione nods. McGonagall was impressed. Snape was hostile but evaluating. He's trying to figure us out. Let him try. They sit in comfortable silence. Finally, Hermione speaks. Are you worried about being separated? Different houses? Harry looks at her. No, we're in different towers. Not different lives. Hermione smiles. Good, because I'm not doing this without you. Harry takes her hand. Squeezes once. You won't have to. Outside the tower windows, the stars shine over Hogwarts. Two children divided by houses, united by something deeper. The future stretches before them, and they'll face it together. October 1991. Transfiguration class. Week 4. Professor McGonagall stands at the front. Her expression is carefully neutral. Today we will be practicing animal transformations. You will turn your beetle into a button, she demonstrates. Her movements are precise. The incantation clear. The beetle on her desk shimmers, becomes a brass button. Begin. The class attempts it. Most beetles remain beetles. A few sprout button-shaped lumps. One explodes in a puff of green smoke. McGonagall reaches Harry's desk. Mr. Potter, your progress? Harry gestures to his desk. 6 buttons arranged in a perfect line, each one a different color, each one previously a beetle. McGonagall picks one up, examines it. When did you complete the assignment? About 2 minutes after you explained it, Professor. And the other 5? I was practicing variations, different materials, different sizes. McGonagall sets down the button. This is 5th-year work, Mr. Potter. Should I stop? McGonagall's lips twitch. Almost a smile. No. Continue. But from now on, I'll be giving you assignments from the advanced curriculum. She moves to Hermione's desk. Hermione has transformed her beetle into a button, then transformed the button into a small silver brooch shaped like a raven. Miss Granger? Yes, Professor. That's not a button. No, Professor. I finished the button transformation in the first minute. Then I attempted a secondary transformation to test the structural integrity of the initial spell. McGonagall is silent for a long moment. 5 points to Ravenclaw. And see me after class. After class, McGonagall's office. Harry and Hermione stand before her desk. McGonagall pours herself tea, offers them cups. They decline. I've been teaching Transfiguration for 37 years. In that time, I've encountered perhaps a dozen students with natural aptitude for the subject. She sips her tea. You two are not naturally gifted. You're methodically trained to a level that borders on absurd. Hermione's posture is perfect. We've had excellent instruction, Professor. That's an understatement. You're both performing magic that most 7th years struggle with. Some of what you're doing shouldn't be possible for students your age. Harry meets her eyes. Should we hold back? McGonagall sets down her cup. No. But I want you to understand something. Your classmates will resent you. Some of your professors will feel threatened. You need to be careful. Careful how? Don't flaunt your abilities. Don't make your peers feel inadequate. And for Merlin's sake, don't challenge the staff publicly. Hermione's voice is quiet. We're not trying to show off, Professor. We're just doing what we were taught. I know, but perception matters. She stands, walks to her window, looks out over the grounds. I taught Tom Riddle, did you know that? They shake their heads. He was brilliant, charismatic, hungry for knowledge. But he knew when to hide his strength, when to appear less than he was. You two haven't learned that skill yet. Should we? McGonagall turns. That's your choice. But remember, not everyone will be happy about what you represent. November 1991. Halloween. The Great Hall is decorated. Floating pumpkins, enchanted bats, a feast spread across the tables. Harry sits with Ron and Neville. Hermione is at the Ravenclaw table with Padma and a few others who've warmed to her. Dumbledore stands. Before we begin the feast, I have an announcement. The 3rd-floor corridor on the right-hand side is out of bounds to all students. Ron leans toward Harry. Why would he announce that? Just makes people want to explore it. Harry's eyes narrow. He's noticed something. The wards on that corridor are different. Ancient, not Hogwarts standard. You can tell from here? Harry nods slowly. There's something down there, something that requires Founders-level protection. After the feast, Harry and Hermione meet in an empty classroom. You felt it too. Hermione's not asking, stating. The wards are layered. 7 different types of magic. Some of it predates Dumbledore's tenure. Why would he seal something like that and then announce it? Harry considers. Either he's terrible at keeping secrets, or he wants students to stay away for a very good reason. We should investigate. Hermione's smile is sharp. Obviously. November 15th, 1991. Third floor corridor. Midnight. Harry and Hermione stand before the locked door. The wards shimmer faintly in their vision. Ron insisted on coming. He stands behind them. Wand out, nervous. This is mental. Completely mental. If we get caught, Harry's voice is calm. How can you be sure? Because I mapped the professor's patrol routes. Snape won't be on this floor for another hour. Hermione studies the lock. Alohomora won't work. The lock is enchanted to resist standard unlocking charms. Harry places his hand on the door, closes his eyes. The wards respond to intent. They're not meant to keep out threats. They're meant to keep out the curious. So we convince them we're not curious. We convince them we belong. Harry and Hermione press their palms to the door simultaneously. Their magic reaches out, synchronized. The wards read them. 2 children with Founders-level training. Magic that resonates with the castle itself. The wards accept them. The door clicks open. Ron's jaw drops. How? Practice. Hermione steps inside. The room beyond is dark. Then something growls, low, rumbling, from 3 different throats. Ron's wand light illuminates the creature. A 3-headed dog. Massive, black fur, each head snarling. It stands over a trapdoor. Bloody hell, Ron stumbles backward. Harry speaks, not to Ron, to the dog in Parseltongue. The hissing syllables fill the room. The dog's growling stops. 3 sets of eyes focus on Harry. He continues speaking. Gentle, respectful. One of the heads tilts, curious. Hermione watches, amazed. What are you saying? I'm telling it we're not a threat. That we're students. That we just want to understand what it's guarding. The middle head barks once. Not aggressive, almost friendly. Ron stares. You're talking to a 3-headed dog. His name is Fluffy. Harry steps forward, slowly. How do you know that? He told me. Harry reaches the dog, extends his hand. The middle head sniffs it, then licks his fingers, the other 2 heads lower, relaxing. Harry scratches behind the middle head's ears. Good boy, Fluffy. We're friends now. Hermione approaches, more cautiously. What's he guarding? Harry kneels, peers at the trapdoor. Something old. The magic coming from down there is similar to the Library of Avalon. We should go down. Not tonight. We need to prepare. Research what wards we might encounter. Ron finds his voice. You're actually planning to break into whatever's down there? Hermione looks at him. We're not breaking in. We're investigating. There's a difference. December 1991. Library. Restricted section. Harry and Hermione sit at a table buried in books. They've been researching for weeks. Ron joins them, drops into a chair. I talked to my brother Charlie. He works with dragons. I asked him about magical guardians. And he said the most common thing to guard with a 3-headed dog is knowledge. Something you don't want destroyed, but also don't want accessed. Hermione looks up from her notes. The Chamber of Lost Knowledge. What? She spreads her parchment across the table. I found references in Hogwarts. A history. The Founders created multiple hidden chambers throughout the castle. Most were sealed after their deaths. But one was meant to be found by students worthy of the Founders' legacy. Harry connects the pieces. And Dumbledore put Fluffy there because he doesn't want students finding it, because he's afraid of what they might learn. Or he's protecting them from knowledge they're not ready for. Hermione's eyes flash. Who decides what we're ready for? January 1992. The Chamber of Lost Knowledge. They descend through the trapdoor past Fluffy, who now treats them like favored visitors. Below is a series of challenges, obstacles meant to test worthiness. First, a room filled with flying keys. One unlocks the door. Hermione identifies it through process of elimination. Harry catches it using techniques James taught him. Second, a giant chessboard, life-sized pieces. Ron's eyes light up. Finally, something I'm actually good at. He directs them across. His strategy is flawless. They reach the other side with minimal damage. Third, a logic puzzle. 7 bottles, only one allows safe passage. Hermione solves it in under 3 minutes. Fourth, a room with a mirror. Tall, ornate, golden frame. Harry approaches. Looks into it. He sees himself. older, standing with Hermione, both wearing formal robes. Behind them, the Wizengamot chambers. What do you see? Hermione stands beside him. Her reflection shows the same scene. The future. What we might become. The mirror shimmers. Text appears in the frame. Erais stray eru oit, ube kafru oit. On Woshi, Hermione reads it backward. I show not your face but your heart's desire. Harry tears his eyes away. It's a test, to see if we're seeking power or knowledge. We're seeking knowledge, then we keep going. The final chamber. Shelves line the walls. Ancient books. Spell scrolls, artifacts that hum with contained magic. In the center, a pedestal. 2 books rest upon it. One bound in red leather. Gold lettering the collected works of Godric Gryffindor. Battle theory and magical strategy. One bound in blue. Silver lettering. Rowena Ravenclaw's treatise on wandless sorcery and elemental control. Hermione reaches for the blue book. Harry takes the red. They open them simultaneously. The knowledge floods in. Not just words. Understanding. The founders' methods, their philosophies, their mastery. Hours pass. Ron sits on the floor, patient, watching the door. Finally, Harry and Hermione close the books we need to tell Dumbledore. Harry shakes his head. No, we do what he did. We study here in secret. Learn what the founders wanted to teach. But if he wanted students to find this, he wouldn't have put a 3-headed dog in front of it, Hermione considers. Fair point. They leave, return to the castle proper. In the morning, neither mentions where they spent the night. Spring 1992, end of year 1. Great Hall. Dumbledore stands for the end-of-year announcements. Before we award the House Cup, I'd like to recognize several students for exceptional achievement. Harry Potter and Hermione Granger. Please stand. The Hall watches. These 2 students have demonstrated magical aptitude far beyond their years. They have excelled in every class, contributed to their houses with distinction, and shown us all what dedication to learning can achieve. He pauses, however. I have been informed they also discovered a chamber that was meant to remain hidden. The hall goes silent, a chamber I sealed, for their own protection. Harry's jaw tightens. Dumbledore's eyes meet his. Knowledge is not dangerous, Mr. Potter, but the pursuit of it without wisdom can be. You are both brilliant, but brilliance without temperance leads to arrogance. He waves his wand. The house points appear. Gryffindor and Ravenclaw are tied. The deciding points go to... He pauses. No one. I am deducting 50 points from each house, as a reminder that rules exist for a reason. The hall erupts. Outrage from both houses. Harry stands. Headmaster, with respect. You announced the corridor was forbidden. You didn't say why you put a guardian there that could have killed students. And the chamber we found was created by the founders specifically to be discovered. Dumbledore's expression is stern. You presume to lecture me on the founders' intentions? I presume nothing, sir. We found Rowena Ravenclaw's journal. She wrote that knowledge should be available to those wise enough to seek it. And are you wise enough, Mr. Potter? Harry meets his eyes. Doesn't blink. We're wise enough not to abuse what we found. We studied, we learned, we didn't show off or use the knowledge to harm others. The hall is silent. Minister Riddle, sitting at the staff table as he sometimes does, stands. Albus, if I may, Dumbledore gestures, tense. These 2 represent what I've spent 2 decades building. A generation that doesn't accept limitations, that questions, that explores. He walks to where Harry and Hermione stand. You took points from them for doing exactly what we've trained them to do. Is that wise? Dumbledore's voice is quiet. They broke the rules. Rules I established without explaining why. Tom is right. They did nothing wrong except seek knowledge. He looks at Harry and Hermione. 50 points to Gryffindor. 50 points to Ravenclaw. Restored. The hall erupts again. This time in cheers. Dumbledore sits. His expression is troubled. Riddle returns to his seat. Whispers something only the headmaster can hear. You can't cage brilliance, Albus. You can only guide it. And if you try to cage it, it will break free. Summer 1992. Potter Manor. Harry and Hermione sit on the roof. Same spot as years ago. Year 1 complete. Ron's voice comes from below. He's visiting. You 2 almost got expelled on the first year. Harry grins. Almost only counts in Quidditch. Hermione's reading the Gryffindor book. Making notes. Next year will be different. Dumbledore will be watching us more closely. Good. Let him watch. We're not doing anything wrong. We're challenging his authority. No. We're learning. There's a difference. Ron climbs onto the roof, joins them. So what's year 2 look like? More of the same, but deeper. Hermione closes her book. The founders wrote about ritual magic, group casting, things that haven't been practiced in centuries. Ron's eyes widen. You're going to attempt founder-level magic? Harry and Hermione exchange looks. Eventually, below them, Lily calls up. Dinner's ready, they climb down. The summer stretches ahead, full of promise, full of potential, and somewhere, in his office at Hogwarts, Dumbledore writes in his journal, they are brilliant, they are unstoppable, and I fear what they might become if they continue unchecked. Tom has created gods, and gods do not submit to rules. Summer before year 3, August 1993. Potter Manor, the war room occupies the manor's east wing. Maps cover the walls. Intelligence reports stack on the oak table. A strategic planning board dominates one corner. James Potter stands at the head of the table. 33 years old, still fit, still dangerous. His Oro robes bear the insignia of the Marauder Security Consortium. Beside him, Sirius Black, same age, taller, his robes match James's. Across from them, Remus Lupin, scarred, calm, taking notes. And, at the far end, Severus Snape. His presence is jarring, the greasy-haired potions master sitting in council with the Marauders. But this world is different. James taps the map. Eastern Europe, Romania specifically. The Crimson Hand, 12 dark wizards. Grindelwald's remnants, they've been quiet for years, but intelligence says they're moving again. Sirius leans forward. What's their target? Unclear. But they've been stockpiling ingredients. Unicorn blood, acromantula venom, Dementor essence. Snape's voice is dry. Nothing good requires those components. Exactly. Which is why we're going in. James looks around the table. Hard strike, fast extraction. No casualties. Remus marks something in his notes. When? 2 weeks. Full moon is on the 28th, so we move before then. Snape raises an eyebrow. Thoughtful of you, Potter. James meets his eyes. You're on the team, Snape. I'm not leaving you behind because of lunar timing. How magnanimous. Just practical. The door opens. Lily enters. Behind her, 13-year-old Harry and Hermione. James straightens. Lily, I thought you were keeping them occupied. I was. Then they picked the lock on my research lab and found your mission files. James pinches the bridge of his nose. Of course they did. Harry steps forward. We can help. Absolutely not. Dad, we've trained. You're 13. We breached the Department of Mysteries when we were 10. That was an exercise. This is combat. Hermione's voice is measured. With respect, Mr. Potter, we've studied battle theory with Moody. Practiced defensive magic for years. We're more qualified than most junior Aurors. Sirius barks a laugh. She's not wrong, Prongs. Padfoot don't encourage them. Snape speaks quietly. The girl has a point. Their magical aptitude exceeds standard Auror requirements. James wheels on him. Are you seriously suggesting I bring my 13-year-old son into a fight with dark wizards? I'm suggesting. Snape's tone is careful, that underestimating them might be more dangerous than including them. James looks at Lily. She's considering it. He can see it in her eyes. No, absolutely not. Harry crosses his arms. Then we'll follow you anyway. The hell you will. You can't stop us. We know where you're going. We know when, and we're both capable of apparating despite our age. James's face reddens. When did you learn to apparate? Last summer. Minister Riddle thought it was a necessary survival skill. Remus coughs to hide a smile. James closes his eyes. Counts to 10. Fine, you can observe. From a distance, under invisibility cloaks, you do not engage. Understood? Harry and Hermione nod. Sirius grins, just like their parents, stubborn as hell. August 28th, 1993. Romanian wilderness. Midnight, the Crimson Hand's hideout is a crumbling fortress. Ancient stone, wards shimmer in the moonlight. The marauders crouch in the tree line. James, Sirius, Remus, Snape, behind them, under twin invisibility cloaks. Harry and Hermione. James whispers, Moody confirmed 12 hostiles. All of them trained in the dark arts, combat formation epsilon. Sirius checks his wand. Remus takes point. I'll cover the rear. Snape handles counter curses. And you? I do what I do best. Hit things until they stop moving. Subtle as always, Padfoot. They move. The approach is silent. Professional. Years of working together show in their coordination. Remus disables the outer wards. Snape neutralizes the alarm system. James and Sirius breach the door. Inside, chaos erupts. Dark wizards scramble. Curses fly. James duels 3 at once. His movements are economical. No wasted motion. Stupefy. Protego. Expelliarmus. Sirius unleashes raw power, blasting curses that shake the walls. Remus fights with calculated precision, targeting weak points, exploiting openings. Snape counters every dark curse thrown at them. His knowledge of forbidden magic makes him invaluable. Then, one wizard breaks free, raises his wand towards Sirius's back. Avada Kedavra. Green light streaks towards Sirius. Harry doesn't think. He breaks cover, throws off the cloak. His wand snaps up. Protego Maxima. The shield erupts. Silver white. Massive. The killing curse hits it and deflects, shatters stone behind Sirius. The entire room freezes. James's head whips around. Harry! The dark wizards see a 13-year-old boy. They laugh. A child? This is their backup? The laughter dies when Hermione steps out of invisibility beside Harry. Her magic ripples the air. Visible. Tangible. She doesn't speak, just flicks her wand. 3 dark wizards are disarmed simultaneously, wandless casting. Their wands fly across the room. Harry summons elemental fire, not from his wand, from his hand. The flames form a wall, cutting off the dark wizard's escape route. James stares. What in Merlin's name? The remaining dark wizards realize their mistake. These aren't children. They're something else. One tries to flee. Hermione gestures. The floor beneath him transfigures, becomes quicksand. He sinks to his waist, trapped. Another attempts a cutting curse at Harry. Harry deflects it with a shield, then retaliates with a stunning spell that hits with the force of a battering ram. The wizard crashes into the wall, unconscious. Within 3 minutes, the remaining dark wizards are subdued. The marauders stand in the wreckage, staring at Harry and Hermione. Sirius finds his voice first. Bloody hell. James walks to Harry. His expression is a mixture of fury and terror. Don't ever, ever scare me like that again. Harry meets his eyes. He was going to kill Uncle Padfoot. I know. And you saved his life. And I'm grateful. And I'm furious. James pulls Harry into a crushing hug. You're grounded. For a year. Maybe 2. Dad, I'm already at Hogwarts 9 months a year. Then consider it retroactive. Lily's voice comes from the doorway. She arrived via emergency portkey when the wards registered Harry's magic. James, let him go. Lily, did you see what they just did? Yes, I saw our son save his godfather. I saw Hermione neutralize 3 trained dark wizards. I saw them perform magic that most 7th years couldn't manage. She crosses to them. I also saw them disobey direct orders, enter combat without authorization, and risk their lives needlessly. She looks at Harry and Hermione. Her expression is stern. You're both brilliant. You're both powerful. And you're both reckless. Hermione starts to protest. We calculated the risks. You calculated wrong. Power doesn't make you invincible. It makes you a target. Snape speaks from the corner where he's binding the unconscious dark wizards. Though one must admit, their execution was flawless. Severus, Lily's tone is warning. I'm merely observing. They cast spells I've only seen from master-level duelists. At 13. Remus approaches Harry. How long have you been able to summon elemental fire? Since last year. Minister Riddle taught us. Said the founders could do it. The founders were adults. We're not exactly normal 13-year-olds. James barks a laugh to spite himself. That's the understatement of the century. September 1st, 1993. Platform 9 3/4. Year 3 begins. The Potter family stands together. James has his arm around Harry's shoulders. The grounding lasted approximately 2 weeks. Then Riddle intervened, pointed out that punishing students for exceptional performance sends the wrong message. James relented, grudgingly. Now he looks at his son, pride and fear warring in his expression. Year 3. You'll be learning Patronuses, Boggarts, standard defensive magic. Harry grins. We already know all that. Of course you do. James kneels. Eye level with Harry. What happened in Romania? You saved Sirius. I can never repay that. But you also took a risk that could have gotten you killed. I know, Dad. Do you? Really? Harry's smile fades. He sees the genuine fear in his father's eyes. I do now. James hugs him. Good. Because you're all I have. You and your mother. And I'm not ready to lose you to some dark wizard who gets a lucky shot. You won't lose me. Promise? Promise. They separate. Harry boards the train. Hermione is already in their usual compartment. Ron waves from down the corridor. The train begins to move. Lily watches it go. Her hand finds James's. He's growing up so fast. James's voice is thick. Too fast. Sirius joins them. Remus beside him. He saved my life, you know. Padfoot's tone is subdued. I know. That shield spell, that was NEWT level casting. Beyond even that. He's been training with Riddle since he was 10. Of course he's advanced. Sirius looks at James. He's not just advanced prongs. He's extraordinary. And one day soon he's going to surpass all of us. James nods slowly. I know. That's what terrifies me. Hogwarts, Year 3. October, Defense Against the Dark Arts. Professor Lupin teaches now. He stands before a wardrobe that rattles ominously. Today we face a boggart that takes the shape of your greatest fear. The counterspell is ridiculous. He opens the wardrobe. The boggart emerges, flows toward Neville first, becomes Professor Snape. Neville stammers the spell. Snape appears in his grandmother's clothes. The class laughs. The boggart shifts, moves to Ron, becomes a giant spider. Ron's ridiculous turns it into a spider on roller skates. More laughter. Then it reaches Harry. The boggart pauses. Confused. It can't settle on a form. Lupin watches. Fascinated, Harry. What are you most afraid of? Harry's voice is quiet. Losing the people I love. The boggart shivers, tries to form into his parents, his friends, but can't maintain the shape. Harry's mental defenses are too strong. Legilimency training prevents the boggart from reading him clearly. Lupin steps forward. Ridiculous. The boggart becomes a balloon, deflates with a raspberry sound. He ushers it back into the wardrobe. After class, he asks Harry to stay. You've mastered occlumency. Harry nods. Minister Riddle insisted. It prevented the boggart from reading you. That's unusual. Most adult wizards can't do that. Is it a problem? Lupin's smile is sad. No, Harry. It's just another reminder that you're not a normal student. I'm trying to be. I know. But some things can't be hidden. Your power, your training, your potential. He places a hand on Harry's shoulder. Just remember, power without people to ground you is hollow. Don't lose sight of what matters. I won't, Professor. Good. Now go. I'm sure Hermione is waiting to dissect every moment of the lesson. Harry grins. How did you know? I taught your parents. I recognize the type. December 1993, Hogsmeade weekend. Harry, Hermione, and Ron walk through the village. Snow falls gently. The shops are decorated for Christmas. They stop at the Three Broomsticks, warm themselves with butterbeer. Ron takes a long drink. This year has been mental. Lupin's brilliant, but did you see Snape's face when he had to wear Neville's Grand's clothes? Harry laughs. I thought he was going to murder the boggart. Hermione is reading even here. A book on advanced charms. Ron gestures at it. Do you ever stop? Touché. A figure approaches their table. Victor Crumb, 17. Visiting from Durmstrang with his headmaster, he's famous. The youngest seeker in a century. He stops at their table. You are Harry Potter. Harry blinks. Yes, I watched you fly last year. In Quidditch, you are very good. Thanks. Crumb's eyes shift to Hermione. And you are Hermione Granger, the girl who studies with Minister Riddle. Hermione sets down her book. I am. You are famous. In Europe, they say you cast magic that should not be possible for your age. Hermione's expression is neutral. They exaggerate. Do they? Crumb sits without invitation. I would like to see. Myself. Ron bristles. Mate, we're kind of in the middle of something. Harry places a hand on Ron's arm. What would you like to see, Mr. Crumb? Victor, please. I would like to see your magic, both of you. Hermione and Harry exchange glances. Harry speaks. Why? Because I am best in my school. Best in my country, perhaps. But I hear of you and wonder, are the stories true? The Three Broomsticks is crowded. Students and villagers everywhere. Harry stands. Outside. The street is quieter. Snow muffles sound. Victor draws his wand. Simple duel. First to disarm wins. Hermione steps forward. I'll go. Victor's eyebrows rise. A girl? Hermione's smile is cold. A witch, there's a difference. They take positions. 10 paces apart. Madame Rosmerta comes out of the pub, sees what's happening, shakes her head, but doesn't interfere. Students gather. Word spreads fast. Victor bows. Old-fashioned dueling courtesy. Hermione returns it. Victor strikes first. A disarming spell. Fast. Hermione deflects it without her wand. A gesture. The spell ricochets into a snowbank. Victor's eyes widen. He tries again. Stunner. Then a binding curse. Then a tripping jinx. Hermione counters each one. Still wandless. The crowd murmurs. Victor's expression shifts. From confidence to concentration. He casts a more complex spell. A cutting curse. Dangerous but non-lethal. Hermione draws her wand for the first time. Protego. The shield that forms is different. It doesn't just block the curse. It absorbs it, then releases the energy back at Victor as pure force. Victor is blown backward, lands in a snowdrift. The crowd gasps. Brushes off snow. His face splits into a grin. The stories are true. He walks to Hermione, extends his hand. You are greatest witch I have ever seen. Hermione shakes his hand. You're very skilled, Mr. Krum. Victor, and I am skilled. But you are master. He turns to Harry. And you? Harry's smile is apologetic. I think Hermione proved the point. Victor nods slowly. Yes, she did. He looks between them. One day, when you are older, I will challenge you properly, with full power. We look forward to it. Victor bows again, walks away. Ron exhales. That was the most intense thing I've ever seen, and he didn't even land a hit. Hermione slides her wand away. He was testing us. And we passed. Hermione's expression is thoughtful. No, we showed him we're not children playing at magic. We're the real thing. The crowd disperses. Whispers spreading. By dinner, the entire school knows. Hermione Granger dueled Victor Krum and won, without breaking a sweat. That night, Dumbledore's office. The headmaster sits in his chair. Fawkes trills softly. McGonagall stands before him. Half the school saw at Albus. She defeated Krum, one of the most talented young wizards in Europe. And she barely tried. Dumbledore steeples his fingers. Yes, I heard. What are we going to do? About what, Minerva? About the fact that we have 2 students who could likely defeat most of our staff in a fair fight. Dumbledore is quiet for a long moment. We do what we've always done. We teach them, guide them, hope they choose wisdom over power. And if they don't, then we pray Tom was right about them, that they're better than we fear. McGonagall shakes her head. I taught Tom Riddle. He was brilliant, dangerous even, but he knew his limits. These 2, they don't seem to have any. That, Dumbledore's voice is soft, is precisely what worries me. October 30th, 1994, Hogwarts. Great Hall, the goblet of fire burns blue in the center of the room. Students from 3 schools fill the tables. Hogwarts students in their house robes. Durmstrang in furs and deep red, Bowsbattens in pale blue silk. At the staff table, Dumbledore sits beside Minister Riddle. The minister's presence is unprecedented for a school event. But this is the Triwizard Tournament. Politics and pageantry intertwined. Beside Riddle, Igor Karkaroff, Durmstrang's headmaster, sharp features, calculating eyes, and Olympe Maxime, Bowsbatten's headmistress, half-giant, elegant despite her size. Dumbledore stands. The goblet will now choose our champions. The blue flames turn red. A piece of parchment shoots out. Dumbledore catches it. The Durmstrang champion is Victor Krum. Applause. Expected. Krum stands, nods once, walks to the champion's chamber. The goblet flares again. The Bowsbatten's champion is Fleur de la Cour. A girl rises, silver blonde hair, part Vila, beautiful enough to make half the hall stop breathing. She glides to the chamber, every movement graceful. The goblet flares a third time. The Hogwarts champion is Cedric Diggory. The Hufflepuff table erupts. Cedric. 17, handsome, popular. Perfect choice. He joins the others. Dumbledore smiles. Excellent. We now have our 3 champions. The goblet flares again. Red flames shoot higher. almost angry. Another piece of parchment emerges. Dumbledore catches it. His smile vanishes. Harry Potter, the hall goes silent, then erupts. He's only 14. How did his name get in? This is cheating. Harry sits frozen. Hermione beside him grabs his arm. You didn't. Dumbledore's voice cuts through the noise. Harry Potter, Harry stands. Every eye on him. He walks to the front, past staring students, past furious professors. Karkaroff is on his feet. This is outrageous. The boy is underage. The goblet has never been wrong. Riddle's voice is calm. If it chose him, he's worthy. Worthy. He's a child. He's also the most magically advanced student in this castle, perhaps in Britain. Maxime's voice is sharp. This is an insult to the other schools. Then test him. Riddle stands, on the spot. If he fails, you may object. The hall waits. Dumbledore's expression is troubled, but he nods. Mr. Potter, please demonstrate a Patronus charm. Harry draws his wand. Doesn't hesitate. Expecto Patronum. The stag that erupts is massive, silver-white. So solid it looks real. It circles the hall once. Students duck. Then it fades. The hall is silent. Hermione stands. Headmaster, may I speak? Dumbledore gestures weary. The tournament traditionally allowed champions to have a second, someone to assist with research and strategy. I volunteer to be Harry's second, Miss Granger. The rules permit it, sir, and if Harry must compete, I'd like to help ensure he survives. Fleur's voice carries from the champion's chamber. She wishes to help. Let her demonstrate also. Hermione walks to stand beside Harry. What would you like me to do? Karkaroff sneers. Another Patronus. Let's see if Britain's prodigies are truly as skilled as rumored. Hermione raises her wand. Expecto Patronum. An otter materializes, just as solid as Harry's stag. It swims through the air, playful, beautiful. Then something happens that's never been recorded. The stag and otter move toward each other. Circle. Their magic intertwines. They merge. For 3 seconds, a creature of pure light fills the hall. Neither stag nor otter. Something new. Something impossible. Then they separate. Fade. The hall is utterly silent. Karkaroff sits down. Says nothing. Maxime's eyes are wide. Zat was. I have never seen. Riddle's smile is small. As I said, worthy. Dumbledore closes his eyes briefly. Mr. Potter, Miss Granger, please join the other champions. November 24th, 1994. First task, Dragon Arena. Stands surround a rocky enclosure. At the far end, 4 dragons, each guarding a golden egg. Hungarian horntail, Swedish short snout, Chinese fireball, Welsh green. The champions draw lots. Cedric gets the short snout, Fleur the Welsh green, Crumb the fireball, Harry gets the horntail. The most dangerous, the crowd gasps. Hermione squeezes his hand. You know what to do. I know. The other champions go first. Cedric transfigures a rock into a dog. Distracts his dragon, grabs the egg. Solid strategy. Takes 12 minutes. Fleur uses a sleeping charm. Partially successful. The dragon's breathing slows but doesn't sleep. She gets the egg but gets burned in the process. 15 minutes. Crumb uses a conjunctivitis curse. Blinds his dragon. Brutal but effective. 10 minutes. Then Harry's turn. He enters the arena. The horntail roars. 50 feet of black scales and bronze horns. Fire erupts from her mouth. The crowd expects him to summon his broom, to fly. He doesn't. Instead, he walks forward, slowly, hands visible, wand lowered, and speaks. Parseltongue, the hissing syllables carry across the arena, amplified by the stadium's enchantments. The horntail stops roaring, her 3 heads tilt. Listening, Harry continues. His tone is respectful, gentle. The crowd can't understand the words, but the meaning is clear in his body language. I mean no harm. The dragon's growling diminishes. Harry gestures to her nest, to the real eggs beneath the golden one. Your young are safe. I'm not here for them. He points to the golden egg. Only that one, the false one that doesn't smell of life. The horntail considers, her intelligence shows in her eyes. Dragons are ancient, proud. Many understand snake language. Cousins through old magic. She looks at Harry, then at her eggs, then back at Harry, carefully, delicately. She nudges the golden egg toward him with her snout. Harry bows. deep, respectful. Thank you, Sister of Scales. He picks up the egg, backs away slowly. The horntail settles over her real eggs, protective, satisfied. Harry exits the arena. The crowd is silent for 5 seconds, then erupts. He talked to it, without fighting. That's impossible. Ludo Bagman, the commentator, stands. In 200 years of Triwizard history, no one has ever done that. The judges deliberate. Karkaroff wants to give low marks, claims it wasn't in the spirit of the task, but Riddle overrules. The task was to retrieve the egg. He did so without harming the dragon or himself. That demonstrates superior skill. The marks are posted. Cedric, 38/50. Fleur, 35/50. Crumb, 40/50. Harry, 48/50. 2 points deducted only because the task took 3 minutes. The judges wanted to see more. Hermione meets Harry outside the champion's tent. That was brilliant. That was necessary. Dragons aren't monsters. They're intelligent creatures. Treating them as such seemed obvious, not to anyone else. February 24th, 1995. Second task. Black Lake. The champions stand at the lake's edge. 1 hour to retrieve something precious from the merpeople's village. Harry and Hermione dove together. As a team, the rules were amended after much debate. They don't use gillyweed. Instead, they use elemental water breathing, a spell from Rowena Ravenclaw's treatise. It allows them to breathe underwater without physical transformation. More elegant, more controlled, they dive. The lake is dark, cold, deep, but their magic illuminates the path, soft blue light. They reach the merpeople village, stone buildings, kelp gardens, strange beauty in the depths. 4 hostages are tied to pillars in the central square. Ron for Harry, Cho Chang for Cedric, Hermione's younger cousin for her, a Beauxbatons student for Fleur. Harry moves to Ron first, cuts the ropes with a severing charm. Ron floats upward, still under the sleeping spell, but Hermione doesn't grab her cousin. She looks at the other hostages. Fleur hasn't arrived. Her cousin will drown if no one takes her. Hermione cuts those ropes too. The merpeople chief swims forward. His face is fierce. Only your own hostage. Hermione responds in Mermish, a language she learned from a book in the Library of Avalon. The child is innocent. I will not leave her to die. You exceed your task. There will be consequences. Then let there be consequences. I choose compassion. The chief studies her. Then something shifts in his expression. You speak the old tongue. I speak many tongues. Knowledge is survival. The chief nods slowly. Take them both. You have honored our laws by showing mercy. They surface with 3 hostages. Ron, Hermione's cousin, and Fleur's sister. Fleur reaches the surface 30 seconds later. Panicked, she sees her sister already safe. Ari, Hermione, you saved Gabrielle. Hermione hands the girl to Fleur. We weren't going to let her drown. Fleur's eyes fill with tears. I will not forget Z's. The judges deliberate again. Karkaroff argues they exceeded the time limit, but Dumbledore speaks. They saved 3 people instead of 1. That demonstrates exceptional courage and skill. The marks: Cedric, 42/50. Crumb, 44/50. Fleur, 40/50. Harry and Hermione, 49/50. 1 point deducted for exceeding time, but the rescue of extra hostages earns them nearly perfect marks. June 24th, 1995. Third task. The maze. A massive labyrinth has been grown on the Quidditch pitch. 20-foot hedges, magical obstacles throughout. The champions enter in order of their standings. Harry and Hermione go first, together. Crumb 30 seconds later, Cedric and Fleur follow. Inside the maze, the walls shift, paths change, darkness presses in. Harry and Hermione move in perfect synchronization. Their years of training show. They encounter a boggart. It tries to form into their fears, but their occlumency shields are too strong. The boggart gives up, retreats. A sphinx blocks their path, majestic, ancient. She speaks, answer my riddle and pass. Fail and I attack. Hermione steps forward. We accept. The sphinx settles on her haunches. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening? The riddle is ancient, classical. Most wizards wouldn't recognize it. but Hermione studied Muggle mythology alongside magical texts. Man, he crawls as a baby, walks as an adult, uses a cane in old age. The Sphinx's eyes gleam. Correct, but I will add a challenge. Answer in the tongue of my ancestors. Hermione responds in ancient Greek. The Sphinx's mouth opens in what might be a smile. You honor the old ways. Pass. They continue. They find Cedric being attacked by an acromantula, a massive spider, 8 eyes gleaming. Harry speaks to it. Parseltongue works on some spiders. The acromantula pauses, confused, then scuttles away. Cedric stares. Potter, thanks. No one gets left behind. They reach the center together, the 3 of them. The Triwizard Cup sits on a pedestal, glowing, but it's protected by a ward, ancient, complex. The ward requires the magic of all 4 founders to break. Cedric tries. His magic bounces off. I can't. It's too strong. Harry and Hermione exchange glances. We've got this. They raise their wands simultaneously. Cast the spell they invented in year 2, Harmonia Maxima. The spell combines Gryffindor's courage, Ravenclaw's wisdom, Hufflepuff's loyalty, Slytherin's cunning. All 4 founders' magics, woven into one. The ward shatters like glass. Cedric's jaw drops. What was that? Something we've been working on. They reach for the cup together. Harry, Hermione, Cedric, the 3 of them touch it simultaneously. Portkey magic activates, transports them to the judge's platform. The crowd roars. Dumbledore stands. For the first time in Triwizard history. 3 champions, Riddle presents the cup. But he addresses the crowd. This tournament was meant to show magical excellence. These 3 have shown us something more. Cooperation. Compassion, the willingness to help rather than hinder. He hands the cup to Harry, to Hermione, to Cedric. They hold it together. The crowd rises. Applause thunders. Karkaroff stands slowly, grudging respect on his face. Maxime has tears in her eyes. Victor Krum approaches after the ceremony. You are greatest wizards I have ever seen. Harry's smile is tired. We're just students, Victor. No. Krum shakes his head. You are legends. I will tell my children of this day. Fleur kisses Hermione on both cheeks. You have shown us what magic can be, mon ami. Beauxbatons will remember. That night, Astronomy Tower. Dumbledore and Riddle stand together, looking out over the grounds. You were right, Tom. They are the future, yes, but the future is not guaranteed. Dumbledore turns. What do you mean? Riddle's expression is troubled. I've received reports. The Muggles are stirring. There are movements, organizations, people who suspect our existence. The statute of secrecy has held for 300 years. Nothing holds forever, Albus. And when it breaks, when the Muggle world learns about us, we'll need leaders who can bridge both worlds. He gestures toward the castle. Harry and Hermione. They're those leaders, but they're not ready yet. How long do we have? Riddle's voice is quiet, less than we'd like. Storm clouds are gathering. I can feel it. Below them, in the castle, Harry and Hermione sit in the room of requirement. They're reviewing the tournament, analyzing their performance, planning how to improve, because they know, instinctively, that this was practice, that something bigger is coming, that their real test is still ahead. December 20th, 1994, Diagon Alley, 3:47 p.m. Christmas shopping season. The alley is packed. Witches and wizards browse shop windows. Children press their noses against the glass at quality Quidditch supplies. The smell of fresh parchment from Flourish and Blots mingles with cauldron cakes from the bakery. Lily Potter walks with her colleague from the Department of Magical Innovations. They're discussing ward theory, debating the ethics of protective enchantments that learn and adapt. At Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, Fred and George demonstrate their latest invention. A crowd gathers. Laughter rings out. In Ollivander's, a young witch receives her first wand. Her parents beam with pride. Normal, peaceful, perfect. Then, the explosion. It starts at the south end of the alley near Gringotts. A flash of white light, a sound like the world tearing. The cobblestones erupt. Stone and fire and something else. Something chemical. Wrong. The blast wave ripples outward, shatters windows, throws people through the air. Screaming begins. Lily's training kicks in. She's on her feet. Wand out. Shield charms, pushing people behind cover. But the fire spreads. It's not normal fire. It burns through magical shields, sticks to skin, cannot be extinguished with aguamenti, alchemical fire, combined with Muggle explosives. The death toll climbs in seconds. Aurors apparate in. James is among the first. He sees Lily across the chaos. Their eyes meet. She's alive, helping wounded. He nods once, turns to coordinate emergency response. The fire burns for 17 minutes. When it's finally contained, using a combination of vanishing spells and physical sand barriers. The damage is catastrophic. 47 dead, hundreds injured, a crater 20 feet across where the bomb detonated. And in the rubble, scratched into a piece of scorched metal, a message. The statute ends, the liberation begins. Prometheus. December 21st, 1994. Ministry of Magic. Emergency Wizengamot session. The chamber is full. Every seat occupied, the gallery packed with observers. Minister Riddle stands at the center. His robes are immaculate, but his face shows the strain. He didn't sleep last night. 47 of our people are dead, murdered while shopping for Christmas gifts. The oldest victim was 93. The youngest was 7. The chamber is silent. We have recovered evidence from the blast site. The device was a combination of Muggle explosives and alchemical compounds. Sophisticated, planned, executed by someone with knowledge of both magical and non-magical sciences. Amelia Bones, head of magical law enforcement, stands. Minister, do we have suspects? We have a signature. Prometheus, intelligence suggests this is not a wizarding terrorist group, it's a Muggle organization. The chamber erupts. Muggles? Impossible. How would they even know about Diagon Alley? Riddle raises his hand. Silence falls. We don't know how they discovered our existence. We don't know how they acquired magical materials. But the evidence is clear. This was an attack by non-magical humans on our community. An elderly wizard stands, pure blood, traditional robes. Then we respond with force. Show the Muggles what happens when they attack wizards. Riddle's voice is ice. And become the monsters they believe us to be? No. We investigate. We find those responsible, and we bring them to justice through proper channels. But what if they attack again? Then we defend ourselves. But we do not start a war with the Muggle world. Not over one attack. Kingsley Shacklebolt enters the chamber. Hurried, he whispers to Riddle. Riddle's expression darkens. We have identified the organization, the Prometheus Initiative, a Muggle group dedicated to... His voice hardens, ending magical tyranny and liberating humanity from wizarding manipulation. The chamber explodes again. Riddle continues over the noise. They believe we have been secretly controlling Muggle society for centuries, that the statute of secrecy is a tool of oppression. Their goal is to expose our existence and... His jaw tightens. Free humanity from our chains. This is madness. This is what happens when fear and ignorance meet stolen power. We have reports that they acquired artifacts from a collapsed Department of Mysteries outpost. Research materials, alchemical formulas, perhaps even anti-magic field generators. Can Muggles even use those, if they're clever enough? Yes. December 22nd, 1994. A Muggle laboratory. London. Dr. Malcolm Graves stands before a gathering of his followers. 50 people. Scientists, engineers, philosophers. All united by a single belief. Magic is real, and it must be stopped. Graves is 52. Thin. Intense. His eyes burn with zealot's fire. Behind him, a projection shows images from the Diagon Alley bombing, aerial shots, casualty reports, wizarding newspapers with screaming headlines. For centuries they have hidden, manipulated our memories, erased our knowledge, controlled our world from the shadows. The crowd murmurs agreement. My daughter, Graves's voice breaks. Emily, she was 9 years old when she witnessed a magical duel. 2 wizards fighting over some trivial dispute. They didn't care that a child saw them. He clicks to the next image. A young girl, catatonic, eyes unfocused. The obliviators came. They erased her memory. But something went wrong. She's been like this for 5 years, my brilliant, beautiful, curious daughter, trapped in her own mind. Because wizards couldn't be bothered to be careful. The crowd's anger is visible. I spent 3 years searching for answers, for a way to help her, and I found the truth. Magic is real, and the people who wield it believe they are above us, superior, entitled to toy with our minds whenever convenient. He gestures to the table behind him. covered in artifacts. We found their abandoned outpost. We studied their weapons, their tools. Their arrogance is so complete they didn't even bother to destroy the evidence. He picks up a device, metallic, covered in runes. This generates an anti-magic field. Within its radius, wizards are powerless. Just humans like us. He sets it down, picks up another object. This is an alchemical accelerant. Their magic fire. We've synthesized a stable version. And this, he lifts a slim rod, is a wand. Broken, non-functional. But we're learning how it works, how to counter it, how to neutralize it. A woman in the front row stands. What's our next target? Graves' smile is cold. Hogwarts, the source of their indoctrination, where they train children to view muggles as inferior, as cattle. He clicks to an image of the castle. We strike in the spring, when the school is full. We don't harm the students, we're not monsters, but we show the wizarding world that their hiding is over, that we know about them, and we will not be erased again. The crowd rises. Applause. Determination. December 23, 1994. Hogwarts, headmaster's office. Dumbledore sits behind his desk. Fawkes is silent on his perch. Even the Phoenix senses the mood. Riddle stands by the window, staring out at the grounds. You should evacuate the students and prove Prometheus right, that we're weak, that magic can't protect itself. Tom, 47 people died. I know. I saw the bodies. Then you know we can't risk the children. Riddle turns. If we evacuate, we send a message that a handful of muggles with stolen artifacts can bring wizarding Britain to its knees. We lose credibility, authority, fear spreads. Better fear than dead students. It won't stop at evacuation Albus. They'll attack the ministry next, then Hogsmeade, then every magical community in Britain. Where does the running end? Dumbledore's expression is pained. What do you propose? We make a stand. Here. We turn Hogwarts into a fortress. We protect the students while showing Prometheus that we will not be terrorized. You're talking about war. I'm talking about defense. There's a knock. Harry and Hermione enter without waiting for permission. Dumbledore starts to object. Riddle holds up a hand. They have a right to be here. This affects them more than most. Harry's voice is calm, controlled. We heard about Diagon Alley, about Prometheus, Hermione adds. We want to help. Dumbledore shakes his head. Your children. We're the strongest wizards in this castle. Harry's tone is matter-of-fact, not arrogant, just true. You know it. And if Prometheus attacks Hogwarts, you'll need us. Riddle studies them. What do you propose? Train the students, form defense groups, prepare everyone for what's coming. We already have defense against the dark arts classes. Hermione's expression is sharp. With respect, headmaster, standard data won't help against muggles with anti-magic weapons. We need practical combat training, real scenarios, not just theory. Dumbledore stands. I will not turn this school into a military camp. Harry's voice is quiet. Then you'll turn it into a graveyard. The words land like a physical blow. Riddle speaks before Dumbledore can respond. A compromise. We reinforce the wards. I'll assign Aurors to patrol the grounds. And, he looks at Harry and Hermione, these two will train a volunteer student defense corps. Under supervision, absolutely not. Albus. Riddle's voice is hard. Either we prepare, or we bury more children. Choose. January 1995. Hogwarts, room of requirement. 50 students gather, volunteers from all houses, years 5 through 7 primarily, but some younger students insisted. Harry stands at the front. Hermione beside him. We're here because Hogwarts might be attacked, because a group of muggles believes we're their enemy, and because hope isn't a strategy. The students are silent, attentive. Standard defensive spells won't work against anti-magic fields, so we're going to teach you something different. How to fight when magic fails. A 6th-year Ravenclaw raises her hand. How do you fight without magic? Hermione answers. Hand-to-hand combat basics, environmental awareness, using your surroundings as weapons, and maintaining calm when your wand stops working. A Slytherin boy scoffs, we're wizards, not muggles. Harry's gaze pins him. If someone hits you with an anti-magic field, you're exactly like a muggle, fragile, mortal, helpless. Unless you learn to adapt, the training begins. Harry demonstrates basic self-defense, blocks, strikes, how to disarm an opponent. Hermione teaches tactical thinking, how to assess threats, find exits, protect the vulnerable. They work in pairs, practicing, learning. Ron partners with Neville. Both improve rapidly under Harry's instruction. Padma and her twin Parvati work on coordinated defensive positions. Even Draco Malfoy, in this world not an enemy but a complex ally, participates. His dueling skills are excellent, but his close combat training is non-existent. Weeks pass, the students become competent, not expert, but prepared. March 15th, 1995. Ministry Intelligence Division. Kingsley briefs Riddle. We've intercepted communications. Prometheus is planning something. Soon. Target? Unknown. But they've been moving equipment toward Scotland, toward Hogwarts. Riddle's jaw tightens. When? Within the month. Maybe sooner. Riddle stands. Alert the Aurors. Full mobilization and get me Harry Potter and Hermione Granger. Sir, we're about to ask children to defend their school. The least I can do is coordinate with them directly. March 20th, 1995. Potter Manor, Harry, Hermione, James, Lily. Sirius. Remus. All gathered in the war room. Maps of Hogwarts spread across the table. Riddle addresses them via enchanted mirror. Prometheus will attack within 2 weeks. We're deploying 50 Aurors to Hogwarts, reinforcing the wards, preparing defensive positions. James speaks. What about the students? Those who wish to leave may do so, but most are choosing to stay. Lily's face is pale. Harry, I'm staying, Mum. This is our home. We defend it. You're 14. I'm also the strongest wizard in my year, possibly in the school. And I'm not running. Hermione nods. Neither am I. Sirius looks at James. They're like you, Prongs. Stubborn, brave, stupid. James's smile is pained. I know. That's what terrifies me. Riddle's voice from the mirror is grave. We don't know what they'll bring. Anti-magic fields, weapons, explosives. This won't be a magical duel. It will be war. Harry meets the minister's eyes through the enchanted glass. Then we'll show them what happens when you attack a school of wizards who refuse to be victims. Riddle's expression is proud and sad. So be it. The mirror goes dark. Harry and Hermione stand together. The storm is coming, and they will meet it head-on. April 21st, 1995. Hogwarts, 5:47 a.m. The castle wakes slowly. First light touches the towers. Students sleep in their dormitories, unaware that this morning will change everything. Harry stands on the astronomy tower. He hasn't slept, has been watching the forest since midnight. Hermione joins him. 2 cups of tea. She hands him 1. Anything? Not yet. But they're coming. I can feel it. The wards, holding, but Bill said they're designed for magical threats. If Prometheus brings enough conventional explosives, they won't get that far. Hermione's certainty is absolute. Below them, 50 Aurors patrol the grounds. James coordinates from the main gate. Sirius covers the north approach, Remus the east. Moody has the west despite his retirement. Inside the castle, 150 students remain, the rest evacuated. Those who stayed did so by choice. They've organized into defensive units. Gryffindors hold the main entrance. Led by Ron and Neville, Ravenclaws control the library and surrounding corridors. Padma Patil commands. Hufflepuffs secure the lower levels and hospital wing. Cedric Diggory is their captain despite graduating last year. He returned to help. Slytherins defend the dungeons. Draco Malfoy, changed by years in a world without Voldemort, leads them with cold efficiency. And, at the center, the Great Hall has been converted into a command post. Dumbledore stands beside a tactical map. McGonagall, Snape, Flitwick, Sprout, all the professors armed and ready. Minister Riddle arrived an hour ago, refused to coordinate from safety, stands with his people. The sun climbs higher. 6 a.m., the attack begins. The first wave. They come from the Forbidden Forest, 500 militants, armed with rifles, grenades, devices that hum with stolen magic. At their center, Dr. Malcolm Graves, wearing a suit of armor that shouldn't exist. Plates of enchanted metal, powered by alchemical batteries. A walking tank that radiates anti-magic. He raises a megaphone. Surrender the school. Let the children go free, or we will level it. Dumbledore's voice carries across the grounds. Amplified by Sonorous, Hogwarts has stood for 1,000 years. It will stand 1,000 more. Leave now. While you still can. Graves's response is to activate the anti-magic field generators. 6 devices, placed at intervals around the castle. They power on with a high-pitched whine. The air itself changes, feels heavier, wrong. Magic within a 100-meter radius of each generator fails. Wands sputter, shields collapse, spells fizzle. The aurors on the outer perimeter suddenly find themselves defenseless. Prometheus forces advance. Gunfire erupts. James dives behind cover. His wand is useless. He pulls a physical shield, conjured yesterday specifically for this scenario. Return fire. The aurors have muggle weapons too. Procured in secret, trained with in the last month. The battle is brutal, loud, nothing like magical duels. Sirius takes a bullet to the shoulder. Remus drags him to safety. Presses his robes to the wound. Stay down, Padfoot. Like hell. The generators advance. The anti-magic field pushes closer to the castle. Inside Hogwarts, Harry watches from the window. The field is moving. Can you reach the ley lines? Harry closes his eyes, reaches deep, past the castle's wards, down into the earth, to the rivers of power that flow beneath Scotland. Yes, the ley lines are below the field generators. They can't suppress that. Hermione grabs his hand. Then we use what they can't stop. They run. Down the stairs, through corridors, to the entrance hall where Ron and the Gryffindors wait. Ron sees them. The aurors are getting slaughtered out there. Not for long. Harry and Hermione burst through the main doors. The Prometheus forces see them. 2 teenagers, unarmed apparently. Laughter from the militants. Children? This is their defense? The laughter dies when Harry raises his hands, not toward the enemy, toward the earth. He speaks in a language older than English, older than Latin, the true language of magic, and taps the ley line. Power floods through him, bypassing his wand, bypassing conventional magic entirely. The ground beneath the nearest generator cracks. Stone erupts, not from a spell, from Harry willing the earth itself to move. The generator topples, shatters. The anti-magic field flickers, shrinks. Hermione raises her hands, calls to the water table beneath the grounds. A geyser explodes upward, drenches the second generator. Water shorts the electronics. Magic overloads the containment runes. It explodes. 2 down. Graves sees this. His face twists. Focus fire on the children. 50 rifles turn. Aim. Fire. Harry doesn't flinch. He pulls power from the ley line, forms a barrier. Not a shield spell. A wall of compressed earth. 3 feet thick. Solid. The bullets hit. Embed in stone. Don't penetrate. Hermione calls water again, forms it into spears, ice hard, launches them at the 3rd generator. Direct hit, the device sparks, dies. 3 down, 3 to go. But Graves has adapted. He orders his forces to spread out, protect the remaining generators, and he advances personally. His armor is massive. Each step shakes the ground. The anti-magic field around him is personal, integrated, can't be disabled from a distance. He raises a weapon built into his gauntlet, fires. Not a bullet, a beam of concentrated alchemical energy. Harry and Hermione dodge. The beam carves a trench in the ground behind them. They can't get close. The anti-magic field around Graves is too strong, but they don't need to. Harry looks at Hermione. Remember what Flamel taught us? Hermione's eyes widen. Elemental fusion? We've never done it in combat. First time for everything. They stand back to back. Raise their hands. Harry calls fire. Pure elemental flame. Not from a spell. From the ley line energy channeled through his will. Hermione calls water. A sphere of liquid that orbits her like a moon. They spin. Merge the elements. Steam. Superheated. Under pressure. Explosive. They release it. The blast wave hits Graves. His armor holds, but the sheer force drives him backward. 50 feet. His boots carve furrows in the soil. When the steam clears, Graves is on one knee. His armor is scorched, cracked. The anti-magic field around him flickers. He stands, roars, charges. Harry and Hermione don't run. They tap the ley line again, deeper, pulling more power than they've ever attempted. The castle's wards recognize them, amplify their call. Hogwarts itself responds, the suits of armor lining the halls. Animate, not through magic, through the castle's will. They march out the doors, 300 metal warriors. The portraits discharge their frames, become 3-dimensional, centuries of painted wizards and witches. Armed, furious, the ghosts solidify. Nearly headless Nick, the Grey Lady, the Fat Friar. Even the bloody Baron, Hogwarts defends itself. The Prometheus forces panic. This isn't in their plan. They prepared for wizards. Not for the castle itself fighting back. Graves tries to rally them. It's just tricks, illusions. Then a suit of armor grabs a militant, throws him 30 feet. Not an illusion. The courtyard becomes chaos. Aurors press forward now that the anti-magic fields are weakening. James, bleeding but standing, fires spells again, his magic restored. Students pour out of the castle. The defense corps Harry and Hermione trained. Ron leads a group in a flanking maneuver. They catch Prometheus forces from the side. Neville, quiet. Nervous Neville duels 3 militants at once. His stunners hit like hammers. Padma and the Ravenclaws use coordinated shield charms. Create a wall of magic that advances. Pushes the enemy back. Draco and his Slytherins fight with ruthless efficiency. No honor in war, just victory. The tide turns. Prometheus forces retreat. Regroup, the remaining generators are pulled back. Defended. Graves stands at their center. His armor damaged but functional. He sees Harry and Hermione approaching. You're the ones they've trained. The prodigies. We're students defending our home. You're children playing with powers you don't understand. Hermione's voice is cold. We understand perfectly. You're a father who lost his daughter. We sympathize, but murder doesn't bring her back. Graves flinches. You know about Emily? Harry nods. We know the Obliviators damaged her. We know you want justice. But this isn't justice. This is terrorism. She's gone because of your kind. She's gone because of an accident, a tragedy, not a conspiracy. Hermione steps forward. The Obliviation damage. It's reversible. St. Mungo's has specialists. We have healers who can help her. Graves's weapon lowers. Slightly. You'd help her? After I bombed your people? After this? Harry's voice is steady. We're not monsters, Dr. Graves. We're not what you think we are. Magic isn't evil. People are complicated. But we can heal. We can help. If you surrender, if you stand trial, we'll make sure Emily gets the best care magical medicine can provide. Graves looks around. His forces are scattered, defeated. The battle is lost. He looks at his hands, at the blood on his armor. I just wanted my daughter back. We know, and we can give you that chance. But the killing has to stop. Graves removes his helmet. He's crying. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. He drops his weapon, raises his hands. I surrender. The cleanup takes hours. Prometheus forces are rounded up, treated for injuries, taken into ministry custody. The generators are disabled, secured. Casualty count 12 students wounded. None dead. 3 Aurors critical. The Prometheus forces lost 37. It's not a victory. It's survival. Harry finds his parents in the hospital wing. James's shoulder is bandaged. Lily is healing burns on his arm. Dad. James pulls Harry into a hug. Careful of his injuries. You saved us, you and Hermione. That thing you did with the ley lines? I've never seen anything like it. Flamel taught us the theory. We just applied it. Lily's eyes are wet. You could have died, but we didn't, and neither did anyone else who mattered. Hermione joins them. She's exhausted, swaying slightly. Lily catches her, sits her down. Rest, both of you, you've earned it. That evening, the Great Hall, the students and staff gather, exhausted, shaken, but alive. Dumbledore stands. For once he has no twinkle in his eye. Just wariness. Today we were attacked by those who fear what they don't understand. We defended ourselves, not with cruelty, but with strength tempered by mercy. He looks at Harry and Hermione. 2 students showed us what it means to be powerful and compassionate, to offer healing even to enemies. That is magic's highest purpose. Minister Riddle stands beside him. The Prometheus initiative is broken. Dr. Graves will stand trial, but his daughter will receive care. Because we are better than our worst moments, he addresses Harry and Hermione directly. You are no longer students in my eyes. You are leaders, defenders. The future made manifest. The hall rises. Applause, not just for Harry and Hermione, for everyone who fought. Ron grins at Harry. Future made manifest. That's a lot of pressure, mate. Harry's smile is tired. Good thing we have help then. He looks around the hall, at his friends, his teachers, his family. They survived. The Golden Age was tested, and it held. May 15th, 1995. Ministry of Magic. War Council. The room is packed. Every key player in magical Britain, Minister Riddle at the head, Dumbledore to his right, the Auror commanders, department heads, and at Riddle's insistence, Harry Potter and Hermione Granger, some of the older Wizengamot members objected. Children have no place in strategic planning. Riddle's response was simple. These children saved Hogwarts. They have earned their seats. Now they sit, listening, learning. Kingsley Shacklebolt stands, points to a map of London. We've located Prometheus headquarters, a fortified bunker beneath the city. Here, his wand taps the map. Red light marks the position. Intelligence confirms they're planning another attack. Larger than Diagon Alley, targeting multiple locations simultaneously. When? James Potter's voice is tight, his shoulders still healing. Within the week, they're desperate. Graves' capture broke their leadership, but the organization persists. Riddle leans forward. Then we end this. Tonight. One strike. Fast. Decisive. Dumbledore's expression is troubled. Tom, if we strike too hard, we prove their propaganda correct. That wizards are tyrants who crush dissent. If we strike too soft, more innocents die. I choose the living over the narrative. Harry speaks. His voice cuts through the tension. What if we do both? Every head turns. Explain, Mr. Potter. Riddle's tone is interested. We neutralize their weapons, capture their leadership, but we also broadcast our intentions. Show the Muggle world that we're not monsters, that we offer mercy and justice, Hermione adds. We put Graves on trial, publicly, with Muggle observers. Show that we have laws, accountability. That magic doesn't mean tyranny. The room is silent. An old Auror, battle-scarred, skeptical, speaks. You want to reveal ourselves to Muggles? In the statute of secrecy? Not end it. Hermione's voice is measured. Modify it. The statute was created when Muggles feared magic, when they burned witches. But times change. Maybe it's time we do too. Riddle studies them both. Bold, dangerous, possibly brilliant. He stands. The strike happens tonight. James, Sirius, Remus, Snape. You're the primary team. He looks at Harry and Hermione. You too, if you're suggesting we make this about more than just military victory, you need to be there, to witness, to ensure we don't lose sight of why we're fighting. Minister, Dumbledore starts. They've proven themselves Albus, repeatedly. This is their world too. Let them shape it. 11 p.m., London Underground. Abandoned tunnels. The strike team descends. 20 wizards total. The Marauders lead. Harry and Hermione follow. Their role is observation, support if needed. Mad-Eye Moody brings up the rear. His magical eyes swiveling. 7 hostiles at the first checkpoint. Anti-magic generator active. Standard protocol. James signals. The Prometheus guards never see them coming. Stunners, silencing charms, binding ropes. Down in 30 seconds, they disable the generator. Move deeper. The tunnels are concrete and steel. Muggle construction reinforced with stolen magical wards. Hermione examines the ward structure. Sophisticated. They've learned fast. Too fast. Snape's voice is cold. Someone's been teaching them. A wizard, perhaps. Or a squib with a grudge. They reach a junction. 3 paths. Moody's eye penetrates the walls. Left path. Armory. 20 Prometheus forces. Middle path. Command center. Graves is second in command. Right path. Research lab. The Doomsday device. Doomsday device. Sirius's tone is too casual. Because of course there's a Doomsday device. Remus sighs. We split again. James, take the armory. Snape, command center. I'll handle the lab. And us? Harry gestures to himself and Hermione. You're with me. Remus's expression is serious. The device will have magical components. I might need your expertise. The research lab is a nightmare of merged technologies. Muggle computers connected to alchemical processors, rune-inscribed circuit boards, containment vessels holding substances that glow wrong colors. And at the center, the device. It's massive, 20 feet tall, cylindrical, covered in both technological panels and magical inscriptions. Hermione's breath catches. What is it? Remus studies the readouts. A magical EMP. If it detonates, it will suppress all magic within. His face goes pale. 100-mile radius. For 24 hours. Harry steps closer, examines the runes. It's using stolen Gringotts curse-breaking magic, The containment structure is goblin work, but the trigger mechanism is pure Muggle engineering. Can we disarm it? Remus tries several spells. Each one slides off the device's shielding. No. The wards are too complex. Only someone with goblin-level expertise could safely disable this. Or Hermione's eyes are distant, calculating. Someone who could rewrite the magic entirely. Harry looks at her. What are you thinking? The device suppresses magic by generating a counterfrequency. What if we inverted it, made it suppress technology instead? Exactly. Turn their weapon against them. Remus hesitates. That's incredibly dangerous. If you make a mistake, the device could detonate immediately. Harry and Hermione look at each other. Years of training, synchronized magic, trust built through 1,000 shared challenges. We can do this. Remus nods slowly. I'll cover the door. Work fast. Harry and Hermione stand on opposite sides of the device. They raise their wands. Not to cast spells, to channel. Hermione begins carving new runes in the air, each one precise, mathematical. Harry channels raw power from his connection to the ley lines, feeding energy into her constructs. Their magic intertwines, weaves, dances. The device begins to hum, louder, higher pitched. Remus watches the door. Tense, Hermione's voice is steady. I'm rewriting the suppression matrix, changing the target frequency from magical to electrical. The runes on the device start to shift, fighting her, resisting its fighting back. Because it's designed to counter magical tampering, we need more power. Harry closes his eyes, reaches deeper, further than he's ever gone. The ley line responds. Power floods through him. His hands glow. Hermione gasps. The energy he's providing is massive, almost too much, but she adapts, channels it, uses it. The runes snap into their new configuration. The device shudders, stops humming, then restarts. A different pitch, lower. Steadier, Hermione checks the readout. It's done. The device now suppresses technology in a 100-mile radius. Leaves magic untouched. Should we activate it? Harry shakes his head. No. We bring it to the minister. Let him decide. Footsteps in the corridor. Remus raises his wand. The door bursts open. Not Prometheus forces. James and Sirius. We secured the armory. Snape has the command center. Time to extract. We've got the device. Neutralized and inverted. Sirius grins. Of course you did. They emerge from the tunnels with prisoners, equipment, intelligence. But the device is the prize. Minister Riddle examines it, wonder and fear in equal measure. You turned their weapon against them. We gave you options, sir. You can destroy it, store it, or use it as leverage. Riddle looks at Hermione. You understand the implications if this becomes public knowledge? If Muggles learn we can disable their technology, then they understand we could have done it years ago, but didn't, because we're not tyrants, we're protectors. Riddle's smile is small. You think like a minister, Miss Granger. I learned from the best. May 20th, 1995. Televised broadcast, Muggle and Magical, the first time both worlds watched the same event simultaneously. Minister Riddle stands at a podium. Behind him, Dumbledore, the Wizengamot, representatives from magical governments worldwide, and in chains. Dr. Malcolm Graves, but the chains are magical, humane, not cruel. Riddle addresses both audiences. For 300 years, wizards and witches have lived in secret, hidden by the statute of secrecy. We did this not out of malice, but out of memory. Memory of burnings, of persecutions, of fear. He pauses. But fear is a poor foundation for any society, magical or Muggle. The attack on Diagon Alley, the siege of Hogwarts, these were born of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of power they couldn't control. But we respond not with more fear, not with retaliation, but with truth. He gestures, the device is wheeled out. This weapon was designed to suppress magic, to render us powerless. We could have destroyed it. Instead, we modified it to show what we're capable of, and what we choose not to do. A technician activates the device, every screen showing the broadcast, every camera, every electronic device within the demonstration area goes dark. For 10 seconds, the world watches magic suppress technology. Then it's switched off. Everything restarts. Riddle continues. We have the power to end your modern world, to throw humanity back centuries. We choose not to, because power without restraint is tyranny, and we are not tyrants. He looks directly at the camera. Dr. Graves attacked us because he believed we had hurt his daughter. An obliviation gone wrong, a tragedy, not malice. He gestures. Healers bring forward a young woman, Emily Graves. She's awake, aware, healed. St. Mungo's finest worked day and night to repair the damage. Because we heal, we don't destroy. Malcolm Graves, in chains, sees his daughter. His face crumbles. He weeps. Emily runs to him, embraces him despite his restraints. The image broadcasts worldwide. Riddle's voice is gentle now. Dr. Graves will stand trial for murder, for terrorism. But his daughter is free, whole, because mercy is not weakness. It is strength. He looks into the camera again. To the Muggle world, we exist. We have always existed. Magic is real, and we offer you a choice. Continue in fear, in ignorance, or join us in building something new. A world where magic and science coexist, where knowledge is shared, where fear gives way to understanding. The statute of secrecy is not ended, but modified. We will reveal ourselves gradually, carefully, with oversight from both magical and Muggle authorities. This is not conquest. This is cooperation. The broadcast ends. The world holds its breath. June 1995. Hogwarts. End-of-year feast. The Great Hall is subdued. The war touched everyone, but they survived. Dumbledore stands. This year we learned that peace is not guaranteed. That darkness can come from unexpected places. But we also learned that light persists. He looks at Harry and Hermione. Two students showed us what it means to be powerful and compassionate, to offer healing even to enemies, to choose wisdom over vengeance. The hall applauds. Minister Riddle rises. I have an announcement, effective immediately. The ministry is creating a new position, Special Advisor on Magical Muggle Relations. The position will be jointly held by Harry Potter and Hermione Granger. Shock ripples through the hall. You're 14, someone protests. They saved Hogwarts, stopped a terrorist organization, modified a doomsday device, and helped me craft the most important diplomatic message in 3 centuries. Riddle's smile is sharp. If anyone objects, please, duel them. I'll wait. Silence. Dumbledore stands beside Riddle. For once, Tom, we agree completely. The feast continues. But the world has changed. Harry and Hermione sit together, special advisors. Hermione's tone is dry. What did we sign up for? Changing the world, apparently. She takes his hand. Together, always. Outside the windows, the sun sets over Hogwarts. The Golden Age was tested. It survived. And now it evolves. September 1st, 2014. 19 years later, Platform 9 3/4 is different now. The barrier between platforms is gone. No need to hide anymore. Muggle parents walk openly beside wizarding families. Cameras flash, children point at owls, at moving trunks, at casual displays of magic that would have caused panic 2 decades ago. The Hogwarts Express gleams red and gold, but beside it, a second train, silver and blue. The Arcane Academy Express. Destination, the new school in Wales where Muggle children with magical aptitude begin their education at age 5. Harry Potter stands on the platform, 34 years old, taller than his father was. The same messy hair, but his eyes carry the weight of 2 decades spent rebuilding the world. He wears formal robes, minister's robes. He succeeded Tom Riddle in 2010, when the greatest minister in magical history finally retired at age 84. Beside Harry, Hermione Granger Potter, also 34. Her hair is still impossible to tame, but her presence commands respect in a way physical appearance never could. She wears headmistress robes, Hogwarts. She succeeded McGonagall in 2012. Their children stand between them. James Sirius Potter, 13, in his 3rd year at Hogwarts, already showing his grandfather's talent for Quidditch and his father's instinct for trouble. Albus Severus Potter, 11, 1st year, nervous, brilliant, too serious for his age, like his mother. Lily Luna Potter, 9, too young for Hogwarts yet, but already demonstrating wandless magic that makes her parents exchange concerned glances. And Hermione's children from her first marriage to Ron, before Ron died in the Goblin conflicts of 2005, a war that never would have happened in a darker timeline, but still claimed good people. Rose Granger Weasley, 11, 1st year, her mother's intellect and her father's heart. Hugo Granger Weasley, 9, following his sister everywhere, protective, loyal. Harry and Hermione married 3 years after Ron's death. Not to replace him, but because they'd been partners in everything else for so long. Marriage was just making official what had always been true. They are bound, have been since childhood. Two souls that found each other and refused to be separated. Now they watch their children prepare to board. Albus looks up at his father. Dad, what if I'm not good enough? Harry kneels, eye level with his son. Good enough for what? For Hogwarts, for being your son, for everything. Harry's smile is gentle. You know what I learned in my first year at Hogwarts? What? That being good enough doesn't matter. What matters is being willing to try, to learn, to grow. He places a hand on Albus's shoulder. You're a Potter, but that doesn't define you. You define what it means to be a Potter. What if I'm not brave like you? Then be brave in your own way. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite it. Hermione kneels beside Harry, addresses Rose. And you, sweetheart, remember, Hogwarts is where you learn. But learning doesn't stop when you leave the classroom. I know, Mum. Question everything. Verify sources. Think critically. Hermione laughs. You were listening. Always. The train whistle blows. 5 minutes. James is already on board, waving from a window, surrounded by friends. Albus and Rose hug their parents, board together. Harry and Hermione watch them go. Lily tugs on Harry's robes. When do I get to go? 2 more years. That's forever. It'll pass faster than you think. She runs off to chase Hugo. They're racing along the platform, dodging luggage trolleys. Harry and Hermione stand together, hands clasped. Do you ever think about it? Hermione's voice is quiet. What the world would have been like if things had gone differently? If Tom Riddle had become Voldemort? Yes, Harry considers. Sometimes. Late at night. I imagine a world where we were enemies instead of allies, where the statute never changed, where fear ruled instead of knowledge. It would have been darker, much darker. The train begins to move. Children wave from windows, parents wave back, but it's not that world, it's this one, and we made it better. The Ministry of Magic, Minister's Office, the room is a blend of tradition and innovation. Ancient tapestries hang beside holographic displays. Fawkes's successor, a phoenix named Dawn, perches near the window. Harry reviews the day's agenda. The International Magical Muggle Council meets tomorrow. Representatives from 40 nations, discussing integration protocols, the Arcane Academy expansion. 3 new campuses, one in Japan, one in Brazil, one in South Africa. The Gringotts Innovation Partnership, goblins and wizards working together to develop new curse-breaking techniques, applied to medicine, to archaeology, to exploration. A knock on the door. Neville Longbottom enters, head of the Department of Magical Muggle Relations, the department Harry and Hermione founded 20 years ago. Minister, the vote is in. Harry looks up, and, unanimous, the Wizengamot approves full integration protocols. By 2020, the statute of secrecy will be officially dissolved. Harry leans back, the weight of 2 decades of work, finally complete. Tom would be proud. He is. Neville gestures to the portrait behind Harry's desk. Tom Riddle, dead 6 years now, at age 88, natural causes, surrounded by friends. His portrait looks down at Harry, painted eyes, sharp as ever. Proud doesn't begin to cover it, boy. You exceeded every expectation I had. Harry smiles. We had good instruction. You chose what to do with it. The portrait settles back. Satisfied, Neville continues. There's one more thing. The Flamel Foundation submitted their report. The Philosopher's Stone's principles have been successfully adapted. Limited immortality. Not eternal, but extending average lifespans by 30 to 40 years. Available to everyone, muggles and wizards alike. No cost, distributed through magical hospitals and muggle healthcare systems. Another promise kept. Neville leaves. Harry sits alone. Well, not alone. The portraits of past ministers watch. Dumbledore, who served briefly after Riddle. Kingsley. Others. But the one Harry looks at most is Tom Riddle's. Did we do it right? The portrait considers. You built a world where a muggle-born girl and a half-blood boy could become the most powerful people in Britain, where goblins and wizards collaborate, where muggles and magical folk share knowledge freely. He smiles. Rare even in paint. You did better than right. You did good. Hogwarts, headmistress's office. Hermione sits at the desk that was McGonagall's. That was Dumbledore's before her. But the office is different now. Books still line the walls, but they're supplemented by computational devices, by tools that merge magic and technology. The Sorting Hat sits on its shelf. It speaks. Another year headmistress. Another year hat. Fewer students needing sorting these days. More choosing their houses based on aptitude assessments. Hermione shakes her head. The hat still sorts, but we've added flexibility. Students can request their house. We honor that request if the hat agrees they'd thrive there. Progressive. The hat sounds amused. In my day, we just plopped them where they fit. Times change. Indeed, you and Harry changed them. We had help. From everyone. But you led. That's the difference between change and chaos. A knock. Padma Patil enters. Now, deputy headmistress. The first years are settling in. No incidents. Though young Albus Potter nearly hexed a portrait that insulted his mother, Hermione hides a smile. Which portrait? Phineas Nigellus Black. Of course. What did he say? Something about Muggleborns not belonging in positions of authority. Hermione stands. I'll speak with him. Hermione. He's been dead for over a century. He won't change. No. But he'll learn to keep his opinions to himself. Or I'll transfigure his frame into a chamber pot. Padma laughs. That's very Gryffindor of you, headmistress. I contain multitudes. September 1st, 2014. Evening, Potter Manor. The estate has grown. New wings, guest houses, a research library that rivals Hogwarts. But the core remains. The honey-colored stone. The gardens. The fountain with its rearing stag. Harry and Hermione sit on the roof. Same spot they sat as children. Lily and Hugo are asleep inside. Watched by Creature. The ancient house elf who served the Blacks, who chose to serve Harry when Sirius died, who is now so old he mostly naps and tells stories. The stars are brilliant. No light pollution here. The wards keep the modern world at bay when needed. Do you remember? Harry's voice is soft. The night before our Hogwarts letters? We sat right here. I asked if it would be exciting. And I said it would be. Hermione leans against him. You were right. So were you. About everything that mattered. Harry's arm goes around her shoulders. We've done everything we set out to do. Ended the statute. Integrated the worlds. Built schools. Created peace. What's left? Hermione looks up at the stars. Everything. The world is ours now. Magic and Muggle. East and West. Earth and. She pauses. The stars? Why not? We've mastered elemental magic. Ley line manipulation. If anyone's going to take wizards to space, it should be us. Harry laughs. You're serious. I'm always serious. I know. It's one of your most endearing qualities. They sit in comfortable silence. A silence built over decades. Through wars and peace. Through loss and triumph. Through everything. Tomorrow they'll return to work. To governance. To education. To the endless task of maintaining the world they built. But tonight, just tonight, they're children again. Looking at stars. Wondering what's possible. Below them, a new generation sleeps. James and Albus in their dorm rooms, Rose beside them, learning what their parents learned, building on what was built. The cycle continues. But better, wiser, kinder. Hermione's voice breaks the silence. Harry? Do you think we did enough? Harry considers. Really considers. No, there's always more to do, more to fix, more to improve. Then what's the point? The point is, we tried. We succeeded more than we failed. And we raised children who'll do better than we did. You think they will. I know they will, because we showed them how. Hermione smiles. Then maybe that's enough. They watch the stars turn, the universe indifferent to their triumphs and struggles. But the earth below, that's different. That earth knows what happened here. Knows two children chose love over fear, knowledge over ignorance, compassion over cruelty, and built a golden age that will echo through centuries. In the distance, Hogwarts glows, a beacon. In the cities, magical and Muggle children learn together. In the ministry, laws are written that protect rather than divide. In hospitals, healers work beside doctors. Magic and science saving lives. This is not what if. This is what is. The unbroken world, where Tom Riddle never fractured his soul. Where Harry Potter and Hermione Granger grew up loved and trained. Where fear gave way to hope. Where magic reached its zenith. And above it all, Two figures sit on a roof, hands clasped, watching stars, partners in everything that matters. Now, tomorrow, always. The world didn't break. And neither did they. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.